We live. Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, nice. So, you guys are screwed because this week we don't really know what we're doing, but that's okay.
Sorry, guys.
Because I had quite some time to think about what we were going to be talking about, and here we are.
It's just been a week
with no plan whatsoever. But before we get carried away, our guest this week is the phenomenal. Would you say it's a good word to use for you? Yeah.
Spectacular.
Fantastic. Jaw-dropping.
Starstrucking.
Yes. Our former next-door neighbor, but now currently still neighbor, just a little bit farther away, Meg.
Yeah.
So.
Hi.
Megan Smith.
No.
That sounds weird.
No.
Sorry.
So the one thing, if anybody ever sees her out in public, never call her Megan.
Never.
Actually, no. Do call her Megan, because Meg is what we call you.
Meg is special.
Yeah, and nobody else can call you Meg. Who else calls you Meg?
Kelly.
Other than us? Is that
my
it?
sister. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did your parents call you Megan?
No, my dad calls me Puppy.
Oh,
that's cute.
That's
why?
adorable.
Is there a reason why? Just cause.
No, and it didn't start until like high school, which was weird.
Meg or Megan?
Puppy.
Oh.
No, my dad. My dad.
We were talking about
Yeah.
Whoops.
Meg was college, 100%.
Were we like the
weird.
first people to call you Meg?
Probably. I mean, maybe not like the first person, but. Like,
Well, you're actually like the only Megan I've ever met. So like,
Yeah, I didn't really think about
and
that.
because like I always only hear Meg from like Family Guy, I'm like, okay,
watch Family
well, because
Guy.
when I met a Megan, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna call you Meg. Like Megan, just I don't know, Megan just sounds like
Well, when I
not
Right.
not to shoot at your name
my
or
name,
anything.
but-
when I hear Megan, I think of like Megatron because that's what Meg's real name is in
Yeah.
in Family Guy.
Optimus.
Yeah, well, but that's what it is, and because that's what Meg's real name in Family Guy is.
Oh, Megatron. It
Yeah.
is. Okay. Well, we'll not talk about stuff that you have no idea what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I've never watched Family Guy, so I don't know. But Kelly gives me a lot of nicknames. So that was probably like the first person to call me Meg would have been Kelly, but then like
But like consistently.
people that met me and I was like, I'm Megan. Y'all were probably the first people that gave me like Meg
Megan.
as a nickname.
Megan.
Well, I think actually when I asked you originally, I was like, "Hey, do you mind if I call you Meg?" You're kind of sure.
Yeah,
It wasn't like yeah, sure, I don't mind. But
a lot of people make the Drake and Josh joke about it, but then y'all were just
oh yeah,
Megan.
Megan. We did do
I
that a
even think-
lot,
I
but-
do remember that.
I
I don't think I asked you. I think I just started calling you Meg. That's
It's
it.
fine. I don't care.
don't. I mean to brag, but I did start it, so that's okay. But we'll
Good for you,
keep
Cole.
going, huh?
Good for you, Cole.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
We successfully wasted like 2.5 minutes just talking about your name.
My name.
Wouldn't
That's
be a
okay.
regular
'Cause
podcast without it.
yeah, well, we need some to kind of occupy the space anyway because part of the reason we don't really have anything planned out really was because Meg and I kind of already did an episode, but it
True.
wasn't an episode.
We were
I just
not recording.
yeah, I just went over and talked to her for literally like 4 hours
got
one night.
deep, too.
When?
We were talking
was
about-
this?
Probably a couple months ago. Maybe a month ago, maybe 2
It was
months
like
ago.
a month, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Why
I don't
wasn't
know.
I
I
there?
don't even remember why he came over.
You weren't in town, I don't think. Or you?
Was this when I was in Florida?
Could have been any time.
Oh
Could've been
no,
any
yeah, it
time.
was when he was in Florida. Because I don't know why I went over. I was just like, you know what? I
You
miss
were
him.
just over, and then like you were there for a really long time.
I
We
think
talked
I
about
remember
lots
because
of
I
stuff.
remember coming back and you're like, yeah, I went to go hang out with Meg. I was like, okay.
No, wasn't it like we had planned to hang out and then we just had to keep making rain checks because we were busy?
Maybe.
And then
I
we
could
finally.
look, like at our text and see because I don't.
You'll be
I
here
don't
forever.
remember.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just a bunch of random stuff.
Just random TikToks.
But yeah, so
Not on our text.
Oh.
That's like on the app.
yeah, we keep that confined to the app itself. But yeah,
Sarcasm.
just randomly like a month ago, I just went over and talked to Meg for like 4 hours. And then I think like halfway through, I was like, damn, I really
Yeah.
should just brought my equipment. I was like, this would have
Yeah.
made for a great episode.
We talked about a lot of stuff.
We got deep with
Yeah,
what the
we
stuff
really
we're talking
did. It was
about.
I feel
crazy.
left out. I'm just
Sorry.
like,
It's okay, Thomas. We'll try
it's not okay.
we'll try and emulate it as much as possible on on this episode.
Well, we can start with what y'all talked about.
I don't remember. Actually. I mean, I remember some of it.
It was
but
like the most random deep stuff in the world.
I'm sure it started with just like a conversation, but then it like snowballed into something that we ended up talking about a lot of stuff. And it got really
Well, I
deep,
remember
and was
one
like,
specifically.
what the
I won't
heck?
go in depth, but I started talking about like your dad and like
Yeah.
you bringing a boy home.
Yeah.
It was just so random.
Okay.
I can't even really remember other stuff. Or no, there was like a football game on in the background. I think it was like the NFC Championship game or something.
That may have been why you came over then. Yeah, because we probably were just watching
Oh
football.
yeah, and then we didn't even watch football. We just talked mostly.
True.
So
True.
it would be
'Cause
like
TV quality was terrible.
true. Yeah,
That's
we
probably
didn't
why
have the HD
like,
on.
It was on, but we didn't really watch much.
Yeah.
It's probably a trash
So
game
y'all
anyway.
were looking through a toaster, is what it sounds like.
Yes, a toaster.
It was being broadcast on a calculator. But yeah, no, it was pretty fun. So, but so you have a couple of things we could talk about. One of
Talk
which
about whatever.
you don't really care to talk about, but you have the most southern accent of anybody that we've had on the podcast. So, because you are from Stanley County, so
Albemarle.
yeah.
Albemarle.
Albemarle. Oh, that is one thing I can't talk to you about actually. And then while I'm doing this, think of stuff to talk about.
You're booted from the conversation. Sorry.
Well, you wouldn't really like understand because this is a conversation I had at work, so like he wasn't there for it, so he doesn't know.
Okay.
Sounds like I just wasn't there for a lot of things recently.
Sorry.
By the way, Thomas is here this week, everybody. For
I'm actually the guest today, not Meg.
Welcome, Thomas, to the stage.
Everybody say hi, Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Okay,
It
now-
sounds like an intervention.
I was about to say, I was like, oh no, this is an AA meeting all over again. Hi, Thomas. What are you here for? I started eating nails. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Why was that the one
I
thing you
don't know. I was
couldn't-
thinking of something.
Okay, whatever. Just look at Meg the whole time. Not too much though, because again.
So I got to think of the ideas actually. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
So-
be spacing off.
Because you are Southern.
Yes.
That's a great way of starting the question. But
Okay.
because you're Southern, I work with like a lot of Southern people at my job,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever I tell stories and I'm doing an impersonation of them in the story, it's like, you know how like if you tell a story, you'll just like change your voice
Yes.
for like whoever it is.
Avine always makes her dad Southern.
Is he Southern?
No, he's from New York.
So he's very
What? That's
not
the whole
Southern.
opposite.
He's
That's
the
the
polar
whole
opposite.
opposite.
That's
Anyway.
funny. But whenever I tell a story about one of those people, I always do like on purpose, just like a
Like-
thick Southern accent.
Yeah, really strong.
There's one girl in particular, Sydney, who hopefully we'll have on at one point. She does have like a really thick Southern accent,
Yeah.
and she's very like peppy, so it's like extra thick. Like other people, they're just maybe a little bit more mild, and I just go all out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But we had an interesting conversation the other day. So, is there something that you know of? There might be a couple things that like you call it something different than like Thomas and I would call it. So, like for instance, as an example, I had never heard this before, but one of the girls I work with, Lauren, she said she has like a pretty thick Southern accent. She said that she calls the trunk of the car a boot, not the trunk.
I'm pretty sure that's an England thing.
Well, that's what she calls it.
Because I definitely said that in Ted Lasso.
You watched Ted Lasso?
Yeah.
Oh,
Such a good show.
it looks pretty good. I've heard good things about it.
But
so.
that, because there was like a clip where they were talking about if you get fired from your job and are putting your cleats in the trunk of your car, you got booted and you're putting your boots in the boot.
Yeah,
There's a lot of boot.
because
Right.
they
That
call
was-
that was the bit.
Yeah.
That was why it was funny.
Yeah.
But I think that's a like European thing.
Well, that's just an example. But is there something like because
Called the trunk of the car.
they were talking about too like breeches, like instead of underwear.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sydney says like breeches sometimes.
When I was growing up, yeah,
You don't say supper, right?
sometimes.
Okay.
Supper.
If I'm at home, I might.
Well, what do you call like soda? Like pop? Or?
No, soda.
Okay.
Or I mean, I don't even call it that. I'll
That's
just
more like
be
a northern thing, I think, is
Yeah.
pop.
Oh, I
Pop
thought it was.
is northern.
That's more like a northwest kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, or like,
Yeah.
if I'm getting it, I would just be like a Coke or a Sprite. Like,
Yeah.
I don't generalize it. I would just say what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
Or what I want, but I don't really drink.
But is there
soda.
anything like off the top of your head you can think that like
I don't know.
All
I don't
right.
know that I necessarily interchange anything, there's some things that I probably just say kind of funny.
Like
there's
what?
still some words that I just, based off normal, like I can't really say it right.
You mean like they're definitely more like Southern? Than...
Yeah, and they'll slip out. But I've tamed my Stanley County accent since I've gotten to Charlotte. Like, y'all met me 2 years after I'd been here for 2 years. So that, well, a little over a year at that point, I guess, actually. And it was stronger than it is now. And when I first got here, it was really strong. Like, I don't sound at all.
Well, of the Southern people that I talk to, yours is just like borderline, just like straight English, like American now.
Yeah,
like
it's gone away.
you like don't even have one anymore.
Yeah, my accent neutral.
But like the whole like your dad's story with the boiled peanuts thing, you probably say it more like him than you do like
Well, I just remember because the one time that I remember you have like a thick accent was when you were explaining the game. What's that game? That
Skippo?
Yeah.
Skippo.
When you explained Skippo, I could not understand. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I could not understand a single thing you were like explaining. I was just like, okay. And
if I start to talk really fast or like I get really angry, it comes out more. It's sometimes when I'm tired too, but definitely if I start talking really fast, it'll start to come out more.
When you're angry?
Or if I'm mad, it comes out.
Get your boy over here.
Hit with a what in tarnation?
Tarnation.
Dog Dimmadome.
Oh gosh.
That's interesting though. Yeah, like I guess now the more that I think about it, your accent has definitely diminished. Like
when y'all met me, it was definitely a lot stronger.
Yeah.
But I make a conscious effort to.
So you like actively pay attention to like?
Yeah, no, I pay attention.
Oh,
to
really?
If I come like if I'm home for a while, and like a really good example is I was home from December to May, relatively. Like I was just post ankle surgery, chilling at home.
Oh yeah.
Being around my family and everyone in Stanley County. And when I came back in May and got to school, everybody was like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Oh,
Stanley County.
I gotta reel it back in because I'd been home and around everyone else that talks like that, and so it kind of crept back in. But I brought it back now. But it's sort of a conscious effort. I think I've adjusted to it enough that I don't always think about it, but it does sneak in when I'm talking really fast or when I get upset because
That's interesting because I used to be like the same way as well because I don't know if you remember like how I spoke when I was like in middle and elementary school, but like I had a like hardcore like Asian accent because my English was very bad. Like I took English speech therapy, so like there's words I couldn't pronounce because I read it differently. For example, the one was earth. I couldn't read earth correctly. I read it as ear and then th.
it's a funky word.
Yeah, so I kept saying like earth and like stuff like that, and like everyone would be looking at me like what? Yeah, but like I had like a very heavy accent. I had to like adjust to it as I grew up. But like now I don't really like think about it as much anymore.
It's like when people comment on stuff like that enough, you become conscious of it and then you adjust.
Yeah.
And I was at like my accent was never strong enough that it wasn't something that I couldn't correct. And so I thought about it and like consciously corrected myself enough that I don't necessarily think about it all the time now, but there's definitely times when it will always, I think, creep back in for certain words and then in certain situations.
That's interesting because I don't know, did you ever like talk to Gracie, like my flyer, a little bit at all?
I did at your birthday, but I don't. If you're going for what she speaks like, I don't really remember.
So
because we had like a very brief conversation.
Okay, so when everyone met her, this is not the Gracie that was like but like my little flyer. When everyone met her, everyone thought she had like an accent, but it's actually a speech impediment. So like
Kelly has one.
Yeah, which is very interesting because like, in that case, like can you tell like between a speech impediment and an accent? Because like hers really does sound like an accent.
Like, what's an example of something she would say that's like? Because I feel like there's a pretty big difference.
I genuinely don't know because to me it just sounds like an accent, but it is a speech impediment.
Like a Southern accent?
No, just like an England accent. Honestly, like I know that's why I was asking because I know you didn't really talk to her, but she does have like a speech impediment, is what she says, because a lot of people when they met her, everyone was like, "Oh, I really like your accent," but she would say like it's actually a speech impediment, but thanks. Which is so interesting because like a lot of people said, it sounds like it's just an accent. So I don't know how you can like differentiate the two.
I think that person knows.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to say the word in, like, they have the same accent as us, but the word just doesn't come out right.
Well, but the thing is, she doesn't
versus
really
an
have like a
accent.
problem speaking.
No, but it just certain words or sounds or like the
makes
way
sense.
your mouth or your tongue has to move when you're saying certain
I guess I
things.
can see that. Yeah.
Well, I think, like, honestly, from what I remember of our conversation, and that was a movie. I don't really remember a whole lot then. Like, maybe, right? Yeah, nobody's with me? Okay, cool.
I definitely.
No, I think I remember more than a lot of people there.
Yeah, you really did. You remember more than me.
But I think she was literally, I think Craig actually introduced me to her. And then she was
Talk
like,
to her at all. So.
That's fair.
and then Grace was like, "Oh, you're the podcast guy," and I was like, "Oh, you're familiar with my work." And then that
You're
was
familiar with
that
my
was like our
work.
whole conversation, I think. And then I think I said that, she laughed, and then like that was it. So like we didn't really talk that long,
Yeah.
so I didn't really notice it, I guess. But
Well, like if you talk to her more, like you will notice it. It's pretty apparent, but like I'm used to it now, because I'm always around her pretty much. But like when I first met her, like I thought she had like an accent. Like I was about to ask her, like, "Are you from England or something like that?" But in
well,
reality-
she'll be there for movie night, right?
I think so. She said she would. So
Okay, so if she's there, then maybe I'll make it a point.
You'll
to be
notice
like,
it, probably.
Speak, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, you do have an accent."
speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting though. I've never heard of like a speech impediment that is
Sounds like an
borderline
accent. That's what I'm saying.
accent.
So like it was kind of interesting because I was like, because like if I was in her position, I would just say it's an accent, even though like I don't know, because I honestly don't know if she likes the way she talks or not. I assume not if
Probably
she
not.
identifies it as like a speech impediment, because she told me a story like growing up, her like speech therapist or at least a speech therapist would try to like help her learn, but she just refused to. So.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know if that was a thing. Because for me, it was just like straight up speech impediment. I could not speak English like at all. So
Wasn't it like actually English is like the hardest language or
It
something
is.
to
Yes.
learn? Which is so interesting.
Especially written.
yes,
True,
I
yeah.
definitely agree.
I think about that all the time because if I'm ever trying to learn something like Japanese or something, I'm like I will never learn this. But from what I've been told, English is like the hardest language.
Well, also English has like the most letters in like most languages. Because like Vietnamese,
I think it deals heavy in the pronunciation though. is what
it's heavy
people's problem.
pronunciation, and there's just so many different ways to pronounce each letter.
Yes.
Like for example, like there's like different versions of like E you can pronounce.
Yeah, you stress it differently depending on what you're saying.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because I'm just like Vietnamese has like two ways of saying certain things, or like Korean or Japanese, and like one word can mean like three things, but it just depends on how you say it, which is nice. So yeah, it's just super interesting because my mom learning English, I mean, she still struggles with English now, but it's super interesting.
I struggle with English. And
I do
I've
too.
Spoken it my whole life.
For those that always listen to our podcast, we struggle with English all the time. There's at least one point in the episode where I'll be like, so and you just have to like take a second. Hey, just like accept the defeat and just keep going.
Yeah,
So,
we all do that. That's what I do a lot.
Gotta make it come to your mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes my brain speaks faster than my mouth.
That too.
Well, if that ever happens with you, then you're just more Southern, apparently, from what you've been saying.
Yeah.
So.
Or angry.
We'll never know.
I'd be scared to see Angry Meg. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's very rare.
I don't know if have we seen you angry before?
No.
I've seen her like
definitely
upset.
seen you, like, upset about
yeah,
something.
upset but
100%,
not angry.
But I don't really get angry. Like something would
That's
have
good.
to be pretty messed up going on for me to
You
be
ready?
angry.
No, I'm just kidding. You know what I'm referencing? Yeah.
Whoa.
Staying on the Southern track, really, then we can move past because that's
Okay.
not
That's
all
not
of
my
who
identity.
you. That's not all of who you are.
Identify
It's
as
just
Southern.
a lot of who you are.
It is. And more so 5 years ago, but it's okay.
Well, you would be proud of me in a certain respect because I've actually started listening to country music more often.
Love country music.
Because that's all you listen to is country music.
I know.
Um,
Because I love it.
Because somebody's actually started to introduce me to more bands. But do you know Midland?
Yeah.
I really like Midland.
Yeah.
That was, of the list of maybe like 12 songs that somebody gave me, Midland was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
So if they ever have a festival or concert or something, then
we'll go.
We'll definitely
I don't
go.
have money for that, but
I'll just be the Uber driver for you guys.
Uber driver.
All right, so you guys did not.
Let me know if you guys need anything. I'll be at home listening to Harbor.
Are they like a pretty well-known band though? Would you say or no?
I guess it depends on like what population you're talking to. Like people that listen to country music, probably. But
Because I had never heard of them before. I don't think before I was recommended them. So, because obviously, like the Morgan Wallens and stuff of the world,
yeah.
that's
to
always
be
gonna
honest,
be
a
up
lot of the country, like the new country music or new artists or bands or whatever, I get when I'm in Kelly's car.
there. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
and she gets it from JD.
Is she like who would, in terms of music, who is like way more? Is Kelly more down that avenue than you are? Or you guys
Yes.
about like the same? Really?
Yeah,
That's
100%.
funny. It's funny because I haven't spoken to Kelly in like years.
Yeah.
I think the last time we spoke was I didn't even really talk to her, but like when we went to
Probably
your
in the
house.
Yeah.
I haven't seen your parents in forever too.
Mom and Dad. Me neither.
I miss Mavis.
Good old Allison
Mavis.
and Ray.
I miss Mavis and
Ryder.
Ryder. Oh, I want to give them big huggies.
Bro, they're probably like so big now too, which
They
is
are.
crazy. I don't even want to think
Mavis
about that.
is chunky girl.
Really?
Yeah, she has too many cookies.
Been feeding her good. She's good girl. Here's another cookie. Oh, I can't.
I feel like Mavis is one of those like dogs that like if you put like one piece of like cookie in her bowl, she'd be like, "What is this?"
Oh, she'd be mad. Well, they don't have like a feeding schedule. Like when you
really?
put stuff in there, they'll eat on it all day. They won't
Oh yeah.
get food
My
in their
dog's kind of
bowl
the same
and
way.
then gobble it up. They'll just walk
Hmm.
like peruse by. Maybe she'll get a mouthful, take it over to the
Just put
living
it-
room carpet, spit it out, and then eat them one at a time. Well, like she just holds them in her mouth and transports them to wherever she wants to eat it, which is generally the carpet.
She
in
don't
the
sound like
living
a
room.
dog. She sounds like a squirrel. If anything.
No, my dog does that and drives my mom crazy because
Yeah.
she'll just be at the food bowl and then eat, and then she'll like look over at us while eating and just drop half of it on the
Yeah.
ground. my mom's like, "Rue, come on,
Come on.
seriously."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, I hope your parents listen to this because now they'll know that this exists.
Yeah.
I also just miss your parents. I want to see them.
Yeah,
again.
your parents are a treat.
I need
so
to see them again. I haven't seen them.
we need to see them again. Just
we were gonna come over for Super Bowl weekend, but things happened.
Yeah, why didn't that?
Because you got
Y'all
back from
had
work
a
late.
Super Bowl party
Huh?
Hmm?
here.
No, it wasn't. It was just me and Cole that watched it.
Oh, never mind.
Well,
Was it?
Yeah. Remember? Because that was the same weekend as my birthday.
Was it?
I don't remember that correctly then.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
That
It
was
the
just
same
you
weekend
and
as my
I.
birthday. Because my birthday.
How would I have been here? for
Oh,
your
no, it
bir-
was just
Did
you
I
and
I
me.
guess I just drove home the next
Well, my
day.
birthday
it
was
on-
you guys celebrated on on like that Friday,
Oh,
and
I
then
thought it
that
was Saturday.
Saturday we didn't do anything. So I think
Okay.
you went home on Saturday.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then we were talking about coming
Because I don't
over.
remember them being back-to-back days. But
No,
if
they
it
weren't
was
back-to-back
on
days.
Friday,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I went home. Okay.
Yeah, but we.
That tracks.
we
I think we
gonna
were
have some-
expecting to have people, and then
Yeah.
it just
I
didn't
think
fall
so.
through.
And then
so-
I also think you got home from work late. So if we got there like
Yeah, that's true. I closed that night, so
So,
that
yeah.
that played.
so we
that
just
part.
ended up just us watching it here.
But go Chiefs! Us
Yeah.
big Patrick Mahomes fan. We just had people
Fuck
on
you, Craig. No, I'm
a
just
couple.
joking.
Yeah, we had people on a couple weeks ago that were like very against the Chiefs. So I had to stick up for our boy,
Well,
Yeah,
it's
that's
funny
a
because
hard
he
no.
didn't like Chiefs just because he didn't like Patrick Mahomes too.
which is like our dog.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, also too as a side note, did you watch any of Travis Kelce's Saturday Night Live?
No, and Kelsey Ballerini was on it too, and I didn't watch any of it. I need to watch
It was tragic.
Oh, it wasn't good?
It was not good.
Oh, okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
I mean, if you like Travis, you're gonna like it.
Yeah, I
because
love
like I like
Travis.
Travis, but
Yeah.
like the jokes just did
I
not.
love
land.
their podcast.
Oh, yeah,
It's
their
so
their
good.
brother podcast is so good.
It's so good.
But yeah, no, they gave him horrible material. It was really
Great.
unfortunate. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I don't feel that bad about watching then.
Eh.
I'll probably just look at it.
You'll look at it and just let me know what you think about
Okay,
it.
I will.
All right, Thomas. What are
are
we talking about now? What you
I
got?
actually did have something that came up in my brain like earlier because,
Go for it.
but like I can't really talk about it that much because I am very behind. So I know you are like a big Marvel fan as well, as
Yes.
much as like Cole and I, but I mean more like Cole because.
Are you up to date?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank God, because I am very not up to date.
Listen, if anything
'Cause
that's
you also-
happened in the past year
Yeah, because you also had a Disney Plus account that I can't use anymore because y'all canceled your account.
Well,
Ooh.
that's for a specific reason that I'm not going to talk about on here.
That's fine.
But
Yeah,
I'm
'cause
on my
I-
family one now, so yeah, sorry.
Well, yeah, because I logged into Disney Plus to watch something. It said, your account has been canceled. Please renew your account. And I'm just sitting here like, what?
It just
bro?
popped on the screen. LOL.
I totally forgot that you were on that.
Yeah, because I was gonna watch.
They
I was
canceled
gonna
it
watch.
mid movie.
No, it was no. I was like so excited because that was when Black Panther came out, or not Black Widow came out, and it was on there. So
You didn't miss much.
I just wanted
I
to
love
watch
the
it.
Black Widow movie.
It was pretty average in my opinion.
It was really funny.
I liked the
I liked the
I liked the
cast.
characters
Yes.
and everything, but like
Okay,
the story
plot,
was
whatever.
pretty bad.
Yeah, the storyline,
Yeah.
the plot was like
Yeah.
mediocre. But I think it was a funny movie. Like the cast
Yeah,
was really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I would have watched it if someone had the Disney Plus.
Sorry.
Can't be relying on that too much. You gotta. Pirating is a thing, Thomas. Not that we do it, wink, but
It was the weekend that came out, so like I wasn't gonna. It wasn't gonna be
Oh.
Yeah,
online.
I mean, I still have it. It's just my family account now. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay, Meg.
Gotta be a Smith.
So wait, what's the last
I can still be a Smith.
movie that you watched? Was it Black Widow?
Movie?
Yeah.
like Disney movie.
I didn't even see the Black Panther movie.
Wakanda Forever?
No,
Big
haven't
new?
seen it. I should. It's on Disney Plus. Like. you
Wait,
watch
so
it
what?
free
What
now,
is the
so I
new
should watch
order?
it.
Because the last movie I've watched was was it No Way Home? That was the last Marvel movie I watched.
You saw that, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But likely relevant things happened in the past year. I probably haven't done because of my schedule and like school. I just have not.
Well,
I
also
haven't
you-
gone to the movies. Haven't done anything.
I'm guessing you've just been watching Grey's Anatomy a lot recently, haven't
No,
you?
I've been watching nothing.
Oh,
Well,
really?
The Last of Us.
Oh.
Which is so good.
Hey yo, that's so good. Well,
I've only watched 3 episodes, but I really
without
liked it so
spoiling
far.
anything, because
I mean, I know the story.
I don't know everything either. So.
I know
Well, yeah,
because he made me play the game recently, and I finished
Oh,
it.
I forgot.
I was
yeah,
I
yeah.
made you play the game.
Well, you made
I
me
didn't know it was a
originally, and then
game.
like I actually did like.
You
the
didn't know it
game.
was a game. You
No,
said?
I didn't know until
Pedro
earlier.
Pascal like thought the same thing. He didn't know it was a game before either.
Yeah.
And when I looked on my phone earlier to look up something, I think one of the casts popped up, and I was like, I recognize that person, and I looked like where it was from, and I saw when I searched The Last of Us, it showed up like PS4 cover, and I was like, what's going on?
Oh, they made it into a game, and you're like, wait a minute.
It was a
They
game
made it into a
first.
show.
It's
Yeah.
like that. It's like that meme from Fortnite. It was like, oh, John Wick from Fortnite. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
But without spoiling anything, and I'm curious to hear your opinion. So I haven't watched the finale yet, so I won't talk
Okay.
about it. Have you watched it?
I
She
watched
said she's 3
season
episodes.
3.
The thing that came out last night, the finale.
She
Wait,
said she's 3.
Episode
She said
3.
on
I'm
3
sorry.
episode 3. Yeah.
Episode.
Oh, so you're not even like at the end yet at all.
No, that's why I was saying I just watched
Oh.
episode
That's what-
yeah,
3,
that's what
so,
she
and
literally
I was
just said.
crying at it.
Okay, well, I guess
Earlier.
I could just say this as a general, and then when
Yeah,
you guys
'cause I don't
watch it,
know.
yeah, and then when you guys,
I have a lot of things to catch up because I still have to watch like part 2 cutscenes that you put on like my room.
yeah, that's true.
What?
So there's a
the
so
game?
there's 2 games. So they're about to start, I think.
Yeah, I've played that.
Production. Yeah,
That's wild. It was crazy.
What's your favorite weapon in that game?
I can't tell you.
Okay, yeah. So. I forgot that joke existed. I love that.
What's your
It's been
favorite
a minute.
weapon? What's your favorite map in Black Ops 3?
Yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
My
I don't know. I could tell you.
secrets.
What'd be funny one day is if she just tells us like, "Yo, did you ever play Fracture?" We're like, "Yeah."
No,
And she
she's
just
like,
knows
Like, I
everything
know
she
about
goes
the
up.
game.
She's like, "Oh, did you ever speed run a Dryzen track?" I'm like,
Excuse me. My one. Well, I had a couple problems with the show. I still liked it, but and obviously, again, I want you guys to formulate your own opinion. It had mad pacing issues. So like some episodes would just be like super quick,
Yeah, yeah.
or some of them would be dragged out, and you're like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of Pedro Pascal as Joel.
Really?
He just is not like if
Well,
you
I don't have any reference from
yeah.
the game, so.
But like in the game, like Pedro tries his best, but Joel is like very southern. Actually, it was funny. We're talking about this. He has like a pretty thick southern full
No,
circle.
I mean, he really does though. Like,
he has a really thick southern accent in the game, and like Pedro in the beginning, he does a pretty good job, but throughout the rest of the show, it's just like.
yeah.
But not just that. My one thing, and my dad's that we both agree on is that Joel has a very like thick beard in the game, and Pedro's got like the patchy.
he does have patchy facial hair, yeah.
Which it's such like a nitpicky thing to talk about, but it's just very like.
No, I kind of agree. I mean, I haven't watched the show yet, but like, I mean, I thought honestly, Joel having that thick beard is what makes him iconic, in my opinion, because that's how I recognize it's him.
Yeah.
So, does he wear like flannels in like the show?
Yeah. Well, they did everything else like perfectly. So like the costume design and everything, they literally just like for your edification, I guess. So like some of the shirts and stuff that they have in the show are literally like
From the
they
game.
custom made them for the show from the, which I heard a really sweet thing the other day. So Neil Druckmann, the director of the game and who like also produced the show, he in the beginning of the show, Sarah, his daughter, who
Yeah. I was not expecting that.
yeah, well, I was expecting it was still sad. So
Well, he watched me play the game, so like he
Yeah.
said he sat through this. After that happened, like me watching
Yeah.
in the game, he said I had to do this 4 times, like sit here and watch it 4 times because
Yeah.
he watched it with like your sister,
Uh-huh.
me, he played it, and then like someone else, or
Yeah.
I think he just played it a second time, and he was like, "Yeah, I had to like experience this 4 times."
So sad.
Yeah, I was sitting here like,
I feel like they built her character up to be something, and they just
"Go see."
nope. But anyway, so the shirt that Ellie wears, I think in the game as well, maybe just a show, but it's like a band. I can't remember the name of the band, but Neil Druckmann said that the name of the band was what his daughter, like in real life, called like one of her stuffed animals when she was young. So he made that the name of the band.
That's
And
cute.
for the show, they made the shirt for the girl that played Sarah, and they made an extra one to give to his daughter. So I thought that was really sweet.
That is.
Yeah. Too bad the show sucked. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm curious what you guys think, like when you finish and
Yeah.
then when you start and finish it, like what you guys think, how the pacing, because you obviously now have a better understanding of it because you've played the game, but which you're in my mom's category, which I think is really cool, of people that just know nothing about.
It's-
You said you didn't even know it was a video game.
No, I didn't until like I don't know, a couple hours ago.
Because my mom, like when the show came out, my dad and I were like, ooh, my mom's like, what's that? And because my mom, bless her, she'll watch a bunch of stuff that she would otherwise have no interest in. So like
Yeah.
to start, like The Mandalorian, stuff like that, she'll watch just because my dad's
Did she
like
watch
super
Attack on
interested in it.
Titan too?
She did actually. I think she liked it until it got confusing. And then,
That's fair.
Until I got confused.
yeah, my mom knew nothing about it, so it's cool to hear you guys' like opinion on it because we know a lot about it, or he knows a lot more now because I just talked to him a lot about it. But you guys are like, oh wow, that's cool, or like I love this character, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, they die next week, so good luck with that.
Great.
Yeah, I think that's pretty funny. So
I would give you an opinion once I mean, you told me like what part 2 is about, basically like a sum up.
yeah,
But like watching like a couple of scenes that night that when I finished the game, I can already tell. I'm like, this is because they got renewed for a second season, right? So
it starts production like later this year.
and that's for part
'Cause
2,
they,
right?
They just had the season finale this
Okay.
this weekend.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't watched it, have you?
What?
The season finale.
No, it came out last night. I always, whenever the episodes come out, I always watch it like right before the next one comes out, just because I don't really have time to throughout
Are
the
you
week.
gonna watch it tonight?
Maybe, we'll see.
Let me watch it with you.
No, what?
Watch the finale.
Let's go back.
Wow, this show's good. Yeah, go in descending order. It's like, what is that show? Oh, Kaleidoscope, where you could watch any episode. And do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's a show on Netflix or something. I'm
I've
pretty-
seen it like pop up on the.
Yeah, it's called Kaleidoscope. You can watch any episode. There's like 8 episodes or something. You can watch any episode, and it makes sense. Like
That's
depending
so
on whichever
weird.
one you watch
Really?
next. It's like a heist episode or something. It's
How does
pretty
that
cool.
work though?
I don't know. Because like somebody will die in an episode, and then you'll go to like, say you watch episode 5, and you'll go to 2, and they'll be alive, and you're like, what? So it's kind of like a flashback of itself.
Oh.
It sounds confusing, but
That
also
does
sounds
sound confusing.
sounds pretty cool at the same time. All right, what's next?
Don't. Yeah.
What's next, Meg?
I have no
Give us something.
idea.
Well, okay. I guess we could just. We are really just scraping the bottom of the barrel here. That's okay. I like this. What? Why are you looking like that?
No, it's just funny because like I thought we were gonna talk about this longer, but I guess not.
What? The show?
Well, just like topics like about movies because I don't know what was the last Marvel movie you
Oh, well,
watched.
you brought up
Oh,
Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how we got in like a whole different rabbit hole because we were like Last of Us. I'm like, yeah, Marvel, but okay.
Okay.
Sorry, that
Well,
was on me.
so Ant-Man is the most recent now, which I'm assuming you haven't seen.
Haven't seen it.
Before that was Black Panther.
Haven't seen it.
Before that was the new Thor.
Saw that.
You did?
A lot of times.
Really?
Yes.
Love and
You
Thunder?
like that movie?
Yeah.
I have not
'Cause I
watched
saw
it.
it in the movie theater in the Dolby with my family, and that was pretty epic. And then I saw it at the drive-in with some of my friends, and I watched it on Disney Plus just because.
So you're a fan of that movie?
I love that movie.
Did we talk about? I feel like this is familiar.
This may have been in the conversation that you and I
Cole
had.
said so. Like Cole, well, I guess I'll let you speak on it. 'cause
No,
it's
we
your
did. I
opinion.
remember texting you about this. I
Why,
think.
that, we may have talked about it when you were over.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I didn't think it was trash. Like I have a couple friends that think it's just
Craig's
garbage.
like so offended.
Kind of like Black Widow.
But I didn't think that movie was trash either. It was just a very average movie. Like there was nothing super like spectacular
They
about
took
it.
some of the things too far in Thor. Like it was funny in the beginning in the first movie,
And then
or
it
the
needed to be
second
serious,
movie,
and it
then
wasn't.
It's like, why are we still doing this bit? or
Yeah.
whatever. I
Yeah.
agree.
So yeah, we for the most part
we did
agree.
talk about this.
Yeah. But like I have friends that think it's like garbage. Like they hate that movie.
No, it's good. I really like it.
But like for what it
Yeah.
was, I liked it.
It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's funny. But yeah, there wasn't really anything serious.
But,
in
like,
it
for that-
wasn't like
Talking about-
traditional. What?
Nothing.
It wasn't like traditional Marvel. What did you say?
I just don't know what you guys are talking because I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, you didn't see it?
I'm so behind.
Well, have
I-
you watched any of the TV shows at all?
No.
What TV shows are there other than
A lot.
There's like 5 or
Yeah.
6.
other than like
I mean,
what?
so I saw WandaVision and Hawkeye and Falcon
Loki.
the Winter Soldier, Loki.
So you have seen... Beck goes, no, I haven't seen any of them. But I've seen Loki, Hawkeye, Falcon the Winter Soldier, WandaVision,
See, okay, I've watched WandaVision and Loki.
There's some that I'm missing.
Moon Knight.
I didn't see Moon Knight.
I love
never
Moon
saw.
She-Hulk,
Nope.
That's a show.
Miss
Yeah. I
Marvel,
didn't know that.
Miss Marvel, She-Hulk.
Nope.
Miss Marvel is a show too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
haven't.
so-
There's a lot that I haven't seen. Technically, I did see like some of the bigger ones, but
Well, from what people say, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, and Falcon the Winter Soldier, you could probably just like skip completely.
I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier though.
I know you did. And we talked about that. And I was like, because that.
Yeah, you told me I could just skip that. I remember you
Yes.
telling me that.
Well, because I love Bucky, the Winter Soldier, and he got nerfed. Like they didn't do anything with his character at
He's
all.
so handsome though.
He's so dreamy, and he wasn't
He
on the
is.
screen. They never
I-
put him on the screen.
But
So,
yeah, it doesn't do anything for.
and the villain was just like,
Yeah, it doesn't
Bleh.
really do anything for Marvel, like the timeline or anything.
well.
But-
So the thing is now, like Ant-Man that just came out is the first movie to like start the next wave of like
yeah,
the story, because Black Panther, Thor,
Yep.
Black Widow, like all those movies, none of them did anything.
no,
for
they didn't introduce anything
No.
to.
Shang-Chi, like a little bit. The post credits. Did you watch Shang-Chi?
I did saw it at the drive-in.
Okay, so there's a lot of like holes in the story. Like, it's like, Meg, have you seen this stuff? And then the more
Yes.
you remember, you have seen this stuff.
Well, that
yeah.
came out over the summer, and I went and saw it at the drive-in.
Did you like that?
Yeah,
Be careful how you answer. Okay.
I was really confused through a lot of it, I think, and so I was like, what's going on right now? But part of it was because we saw it at the drive-in, and if you've ever been in that environment, it's kind of hard to pay attention to the movie sometimes.
Yeah, I
because there's so
agree.
much going on around you, and then you also can't really hear it that great because you're trying to play it through your car speakers, or like you rent one of the radio packs from the
I've never
like,
been to a
Snack
drive-in,
Shack.
so
Oh yeah, yeah.
You never been to the drive-in?
I
We have
forgot
to
you
go.
It has to be a movie.
We have to go.
yeah, we do.
That's a YouTube thing. Then it sounds like. Yeah, I'll let y'all do it. No,
Well,
it just. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't
Outlaw.
like because I watched the Black Panther, like the first one in the drive-through. Not the. Well, yeah, the first time. Do you remember?
Drive-in.
Drive-in.
Sorry,
I was about to
drive-in.
say.
Not
Sorry,
drive-through.
drive-in.
I'd like to watch Black Panther, please.
Can I get a?
Hey, can I take your order, please? Sir, can I watch Black Panther? Sir, this is McDonald's.
We serve food
Yeah.
here. So.
Drive-in.
No, so like I watched Black Panther in a drive-in with Tegan a couple years ago in high school. And it was like you said, we had to play it through like the car radio.
Yeah.
B, I was just exhausted, so I like passed out
No,
halfway
they
through the
because
movie.
you do it in the summertime and they can't start till dark because otherwise you can't see the screen and so
Yeah.
they don't start till like
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
And
and
then-
our local one, they are only open on the weekends and they do a double feature every weekend. So you could be there from like you have to get there early to get a spot.
Yeah.
And then you could be there until like 2 or 3 in the morning, depending
Not
on
only
what
that-
movies were back to back.
Yeah, and not only that, our spot like that we got was kind of far. So I'm blind as a bat
Yeah.
in general. So like I could not
You can't
see.
really see. You can't
It's
really
dark,
hear.
and Black Panther is like a pretty like dark theme.
Yeah.
So like it was at night, and I was at dark, and I'm just sitting here like, bro, I can't see anything on the
Yeah.
screen.
The projection quality is not great,
Not
but
only-
it's more about the experience of like.
You know what
being
makes
at
it
the
worse?
drive-in.
Like sometimes the car radio sound just was not in sync with the movie. So
Yeah.
it would be like Wakanda forever, and then you just hear, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, what the heck? What is going on?
The delay.
Yeah. So
That's pretty good.
Yeah, the projection quality in the sync is not always
when
great
you go to
for like Marvel.
you go in
stuff.
you go to a drive-in for like the experience. You're not actually there for like
Yes.
the movie. If I'm
I
being
always
honest.
go with friends, like with my family, trying to do something fun.
Yeah.
But I try not to see the big name movies for the first time at the drive-in because you're gonna be like.
Well, when I first
don't
went,
know
I
what's
was
going
I was
on.
expecting like, oh, you just park your car in front of the screen, watch it, like it'll be fine.
Except there's a million other people there.
Yeah, and like there's so many things going on, and like there's some kids smoking weed in the back,
Yeah.
and then there's like some.
You gotta
kids
have
just-
that at a
No, there's
drive-in.
like there's kids like hitting dap pens in the back car, and then you just see like the car shaking in the right corner, and I'm just like, y'all wild in here. This is in high school. Keep that in mind.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
Anyway, back to Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is probably one of my favorite of the recent movies.
It was
The action was amazing. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if I had seen it not at the drive-in, it would have been a way better experience. But it was like kind of like Thomas described. The protection's not really great, so you can't necessarily see all of what's going on, especially if it's got like dark hue for the movie.
did you watch
And then-
the new Doctor Strange movie?
Yes, that was.
So she
crazy.
did watch a lot of new movies.
I got holes everywhere. Is what it is.
Did you like that one?
Again, real confused, but I think a really good movie overall.
Yeah.
But it was super confusing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, you got to catch up, brother.
You haven't seen it?
I'm so like I said, the last movie I watched was No Way Home.
Okay, right. You see, I'm such a Marvel fan that, like, when you say you're behind, I've seen a lot that you haven't, but for me,
Do you think you're behind?
It's really far behind for me because I love it so much, and, like, that's
I
my jam,
love the Marvel
and I
like
haven't seen
universe
it.
and everything too, but I'm just like
You're not as diehard about it, though.
I mean, I would be diehard if I'm like up to date, but like I'm not like once the movie comes out, like because you watched did you watch like Quantumania?
I just saw Ant-Man like premiere night.
Yeah, like
with
premiere
some
night,
Yeah,
of
that's
so
what
my
I'm
did
saying.
Jack. Jack will always be, like, first showing
Yeah,
of
I
every
won't be
Marvel
like
movie.
that because I'm the kind of guy like I'll watch it, but like I'll wait for it. Like I'm fine with waiting for
I
it.
don't want to wait for it. I don't know why I haven't watched Black Panther. There's no excuse because it's really on Disney Plus.
Well, that was my thing. So Black Panther, I wanted to go see in theaters, but again, I just couldn't find the time to do it. So I just
Yeah.
ended up waiting until it came on Disney Plus, and then I watched it.
Wait, you have Disney Plus too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You
Dang.
right. dang. That's why.
Well, I wish we had cameras still on this freaking podcast.
Well, that's why because that's right. You were supposed to log into your Disney Plus, but you don't know the login, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's telling you that.
No,
He's
he really
lying to
doesn't.
you.
I'm not lying.
No, he because this is a
Your,
family.
your voice says, I'm not lying.
Well, no, but I've also told him this, which is why he doesn't have my Disney Plus. Specifically for like Disney Plus, my parents are very like keep it like within the family kind of. So that's why
That's fair.
that's why I can't like give that out
we
to
already have
people.
6 people on our account.
Can I be 7?
No.
But like okay,
Oh,
because
we have 8, JD.
Can I be 9?
Go- family not
Wait,
family.
what? That's unfair.
It's the only significant other in our family.
You better
I
start
can
putting.
I can be another significant other, Meg. Sorry, it's more likely called.
You're really gonna do that while I'm sitting right here?
Oh, while I'm sitting right here.
Well, because like okay, the other thing, I gave you my HBO Max, but like that's because I pay for that. So I was like,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
could just-
really?
My
I didn't know
parent-
you pay for that.
Actually, Jack pays for our Disney Plus.
So can I ask Jack then?
No.
What's his phone number? Hey, this is Meg's friend Thomas. Can I have your login? It'd be pretty funny, but yeah. So my parents are just very kind of like
That's
we don't
fair.
really do that.
And I'm over here
We
like
don't do
y'all can
that
have my
shit.
accounts. I don't care.
Good for you.
Granted, I pay for most of them.
Yeah, yeah. Because your family's like, what do we need Disney
I
Plus
don't pay
for?
The only one that my family pays for is Netflix.
Like,
Like I don't even watch Netflix that much.
got like everything, and my parents pay for all of it. 'Cause we got a Roku in the living room, so we just be browsing around trying to figure out what we want to watch.
The only thing for the Marvel that I'm not up to date on is like the TV shows because they just have not held my interest.
I heard Moon Knight is good. Have you watched all of Moon Knight?
I like Moon Knight. I've watched everything.
Jack really liked Moon Knight.
I watched everything but She-Hulk and Miss Marvel.
She-Hulk just
Is Miss
doesn't look
Marvel
that good.
about like the little kid?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I only know that from the game, like the Avengers game, because I saw like what. Don't you play as her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Kamala, I think is her name. But yeah, moving to another subject. So this one's kind of boring. So, but
Yeah.
we'll try and drag it out a little bit longer.
Huh?
Your career, your exercise.
I don't think she wants to
science
talk
career.
about.
Do you want to talk
That's
about
okay.
your
No,
career?
we can talk
Meg?
about it.
She does not sound like it in her
Your
voice.
mouth says one thing, but your eyes say another, Meg.
No.
She actually wants to talk
it.
about you,
Let's
Cole.
talk about it.
I mean, I can't talk about me because that's just arrogant. But if you want to, go ahead.
What do you want to know? What do you want me to talk about?
Oh, we're on to okay.
Let's talk about your love for Coyote Joe's. Actually,
No, that's not. It's a fun place. I really like it.
That's not fair. I don't remember my time at Coyote Joe's.
That's not true at all. I remember most of that night.
Woo!
Yeah, when I showed you videos later.
Wait, what?
When I showed you videos of it later, that's how you remember the night.
Did you take videos?
No.
Oh, thank God.
She doesn't remember taking the cookies over here. That's the one thing.
Really?
Crumble?
She said she didn't remember.
Anyway, if your parents watch this, Meg was very responsible that night, and you should be very proud of
I already
her.
told my mom.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was responsible because I was with y'all.
True.
That's
You were in
true.
good hands.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you were in good
So
hands.
like, I would not go out and just like.
Yeah. You're not like that. You wouldn't just go
No.
out and be like, "Wow," and then not have a plan for getting back. So.
Exactly. So I like if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with people that I know I can trust, and I've always gone out with like at least one male friend that I'm like, I definitely trust you to get everyone back safely.
Yeah.
I'm over here like driving back.
Yeah, that
Even though I
was-
haven't drank, I drive like I'm drunk, but
Yes.
okay. You didn't have to. You didn't have to reiterate that, Meg.
Take a second. Yeah. Let him
you
get
don't
out.
have to
Let him go.
reiterate that. Okay.
That's funny.
I'm here to tell the truth.
But anyway, so
truth and the
because it's so
Career.
funny how all these things connect with each other. Because my coworker, who's the super southern one, is also an exercise
Yes.
science major, and
Oh, okay.
I've talked to you about this a couple of times.
Is it just a southern thing?
I guess, yeah.
Maybe.
So why exercise science?
Why
major?
extra science?
Yeah,
Or athletic training, or both.
sure.
Um.
Because I'm sure you've told us, but I don't really remember. But we also just for other
I
people
do.
to
Because I
okay.
care more. No,
Well, you're also just around Meg more in like a professional setting. For like,
Oh, that's true.
I guess that's true. No, but the thing is, I don't really talk to her about. I don't talk to her about it in the professional setting that much.
Yeah, I
Like-
am around you more when I'm working.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I'm around you more when I'm just like
Chilling.
hanging out.
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
But anyway,
The
floor is yours.
Well, like from a sense of athletic training, which is what I'm doing now, like that was not my plan when I graduated high school and stuff, because I was a gymnast. You both know that. And I think anytime you're like hardcore into athletics, your interest is piqued in that like field of study.
Yeah.
At least a little bit. And then some people will be like, okay, well, I'm just going to get my degree in kinesiology or exercise science or whatever. But when I graduated high school, I thought I was going to go into exercise science and then go to PT school, like for physical therapy. That's what I thought I wanted to do. Because I had been a few times for injuries that I had had or gone with my mom, because I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I didn't know athletic training was even a thing. And so I got to college and majored in exercise science, which was the only one of my 3 siblings that went through and have graduated or are about to graduate from Charlotte that actually declared a major upon like admissions.
Oh, nice.
Neither of them,
Oh.
like they both entered university college and did at least a year in just gen ed classes because they weren't sure what they wanted to do, but obviously
Huge flex.
declared
Huge flex over here.
declared a major along the way. But
That's your future
I-
girl.
what?
Nothing.
You know, come on, talk to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I had come in declared exercise science because I knew that was what I wanted to do, and it was hard. It was really hard. It was a lot of work.
I remember sophomore year, especially.
Yeah,
We didn't see Meg for 2 winters. She was too busy studying.
Practically, it was.
Winter's coming.
I mean, y'all met me at
We met you when you were taking
heat
physics.
of my major.
We met you when you were taking physics. That should just speak it
I
enough.
freaking had a potato on a string hanging in the doorway at my house for physics. Did I tell you
I was
about
so
that?
confused where that story was going.
What are
Hold
you
on.
talking about?
Wait a second.
So for physics lab, this was all Zoom University, right? Because of the pandemic. So we were doing everything from home, and this was like deep pandemic when I wasn't even here, because there was a period where we all just kind of went home, right? Like all 4 of us were back. Colby lived there, but all 4 of us moved back home, and I was in physics lab, and one of the labs was what's that called? Like the pendulum, where it's the theory is whatever your starting point is, it's not ever going to go back to that. And so we had to get actual angle measurements of how much did it decrease. We had to do it with some sort of weighted object, and they gave us like, okay, you could use this or this or this, and one of them was potato, and I'm like, well, I have potato. So I had a piece of string that I wrapped onto. Colby has one of those pull-up bars that hangs over the like doorway.
Yeah.
And so I tied the top of the string on that little pull-up bar, and then like fashioned up a little tie around the potato, and was swinging it down the hallway at my house for like an hour. Those measurements were really hard to get.
An hour?
Yes.
I can't imagine.
I have videos, and they are hilarious of me just like
I can't imagine
squatted
just,
down,
like,
pulling the potato back and letting it swing, and just watching it and trying to figure out how I'm going to measure the
I can't
angles.
imagine being like Mavis or Ryder just walking by and just like under the potato,
That
just seeing it
was
swinging.
pre-Mavis and Ryder.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that,
Yeah.
because you
We got them-
you got Ryder in your junior year, right?
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But the potato string lab was definitely interesting. That was only due to pandemic, though. I don't think they would actually make you do it with potato and physics lab. They probably have more sophisticated.
What were the other suggestions
materials.
other than the potato?
I don't remember. I just know that I saw it and was like, oh, yeah, I have that. I can use that. But it was
I
probably
feel like they're definitely better, like other better.
There was probably like a lacrosse ball, or but they tried to give you household objects that like anyone would have, because
I don't own a potato, so I'm surprised you.
you don't have potatoes like in your at your house, like your mom.
My family don't eat potatoes like that.
Oh, well, we do a lot of meat and potatoes in the Smith house. So
The fam house, we eat a lot of rice and chicken.
yeah, that makes sense.
And random stuff that is on the stove that Cole questions every time he comes over.
Yeah.
Yeah, his aunt's like boiled batteries before, and I'm like, "What are you eating?"
Not actually
batteries.
No,
was
he
like-
just looks in it. He's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's probably some like weird meat." Because like, there's always some like giant.
The one time, like, that's a core memory for me, which was like you watched SpongeBob, right, growing up, or no?
We just had this conversation in class yesterday. Like, I watched it, but people can pull up quotes and like recall stuff 100%. From that.
I
could
definitely
not.
can.
There's a handful that I could just whip out and be like, yeah, this came from SpongeBob.
Well,
but I didn't watch it like that.
Well, the reason this one is so like just like stained in my head is because it just pertains so much to what his family cooks sometimes. There was an episode where Plankton and Mr. Krabs switched bodies.
Or
like switched lives, I guess. So Plankton was the owner of the Krusty Krab. And SpongeBob just made like a horrendous crab.
It was Squidward. They swapped places.
Oh, that's right. Squidward just made like a horrendous Krabby Patty. It had like a foot coming out of it and just like sewage, and it looked disgusting.
The visual
I literally just watched
the picture of it. Yeah.
I literally just watched this episode last night.
Yeah, and
You still watch SpongeBob? Oh,
I watch it every night.
you still watch SpongeBob?
man, not really. I'll see like clips here and there, but I don't watch.
I watch it every single night. Like I put it on before I go to bed.
Okay.
An odd show to fall asleep to, but okay.
But somebody was like, Mr. Plankton,
This is a
Squidward's
sick joke to you.
Yeah, they're like he's making like these horrible things. He goes, "Well, it's just an ordinary." Oh my goodness! And it shows like the still of the thing. So like when I went to his house one time, this was like years ago. I call some of the food. I think we've talked about this on the podcast before.
Yeah.
I call it like "oh my goodness" food because like in one of the pots sometime there was just like half of a fish. It was like the head of the fish, like in the pot, just swimming
Like
like
sticking out.
like broth or something. And I'm like, bro, what is this? And he's like, I don't know. It's like what my aunt's cooking for dinner tonight. And I was like, don't eat that.
Don't eat that.
My boy, I'm trying to look out for you. Don't eat this.
I look at you like, why do you think I make my own food out, bro?
Yeah. I see the Bojangles box in the trash. He's like, yeah, I didn't eat that.
No, like most of the food that my family makes is good.
Yeah.
It's just in the process of making it, it's like,
It looks
oh my
questionable.
goodness. Like it's like it's not about the like the physical appearance, it's just about like the taste.
Yeah.
My family's not like the fine cuisine, like 5-star looking like a chocolate cake castle. It's more like it looks like trash but tastes like a 5-star cuisine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's more like a 2-star cuisine, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because that's another thing about you that I've always just found to be super cool because you will feed us sometimes because you just be like,
Yeah.
oh, I just made some like stir fry.
Do you want some?
And you're like, yeah, do you have food right now?
I just ate my last leftovers.
Crap.
Damn.
Sorry.
Um,
It was stuffed pepper casserole.
Oh.
So good.
No, I'm not gonna lie, I miss you living next door because then
was
whenever you have
real
leftovers,
convenient. I
yeah,
just
you just walk over like, hey, I have
come
some
eat this.
tacos. Do you want some? I'm like, I want
Just come
tacos.
eat this.
Especially
it always came at like the right time too. You just had
because we
eaten all
both would be
day.
like, we just got back, like we finished with class or something. I got back from like the gym and
I
I'm
swear
hungry.
it'd be like y'all just woke up.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely. And we're starving. The one night I remember is like, yeah, I made beef tacos, and I'm like, beef tacos. I want some.
Or like the couple times we had like breakfast over there.
You
That
know-
was so much fun.
You know what's funny?
Uh.
I had a memory come up on my Instagram recently, because it was like probably 2 years ago when you were still living here. We all had
I
breakfast
still
here.
live here. I just
No, I meant like across the street. I mean like across the sorry, across the hall
Yeah.
Over
over
yonder.
Yeah, but like
Over
it was when you came over for like we made breakfast, and that was the day. It was like me, you, Alyssa, Alec, and
Evie.
no, Avian wasn't there because she wasn't in the picture. I don't think she was there. She was probably somewhere. I don't remember. But it was a picture that Alec posted saying like breakfast with like their friends or something like that.
Oh.
And it popped up on like my Instagram memories. And I remember that day so vividly because you asked how many eggs. And do you remember this now?
Yes.
You asked how many eggs and you were like, is 8 eggs good? I said,
I
"No."
was astonished by the number of eggs. That
Well,
we
yeah,
made.
'cause you-
and then got 8.
Yeah. Well, no, you said 8 eggs, and I was like, oh, that's not enough because I eat 8 eggs normally by myself. So I was like, probably like 12, 15 eggs, and you made like, was it scrambled eggs worth like 15 eggs
We
worth of
made.
scrambled
I
eggs?
know I had a whole dozen, so we made that, and then I took some from. You had like a
Yeah.
18 count in your fridge here, and we like pulled some of those. But yeah, we probably made like 15 or 16 scrambled eggs for like 5 people.
And I ate most of it. I remember because I kept
it
going
was
back
all
for like
gone,
third or fourths.
so-
Yeah. I remember that day so vividly. It was a fun day.
It was fun.
I miss making
Good
breakfast.
times. Well, I guess it's a pretty good segue too, because I mean we've talked about this before, but you just refresh our memory on it. Did you break the mic again?
No, I'm just playing with it.
Unplug it.
I'm just playing with it.
So where did your whole like cooking come from? Because like you cook a lot, so like was that like because your mom cooks a lot too, right? Or no? No.
Not really. No,
Oh.
I mean she does now,
Yeah.
but growing up, like we were all, and I say we, a lot of it was me with sports, like with gymnastics. Like I would go straight from school to practice. That wouldn't be over until 7 or 8 o'clock, and then Jack and Colby for some time did baseball, and Kelly did school sports, which didn't go as late. So it all kind of came back to me or Colby at gymnastics. Just ran so late. So we did a lot more. I mean, trying to feed 6 people at home and not being available until like 8:30 was really hard. So we got a lot of like just fast food or pick up something to go or whatever. Now, like if we were to all be home, we definitely have some sort of home cooked meal. But growing up, not as much. So it's just something that I kind of found what I like to eat, because it's a lot more cost effective to like grocery shop and make your own food. As long as you're smart about it, it can be more expensive.
Yeah.
But if you're smart about it and like think it through what you're gonna make and try to meal plan,
You see like how long it lasts and stuff like that. Yeah.
But I also don't eat a whole lot. Like I
can't relate.
right, y'all eat a lot more than I do, so it may not be as easy to do. But I could make like a pot of something or like some sort of bake, and it can last me for several meals over multiple days. So it just, and then with my schedule, like day to day, it's easier to just have something in the fridge in a like little Tupperware that I can put in the microwave, heat up, and be done with it.
Yeah.
It's so tasty. But a lot of the recipes that I have come from something that my mom or my dad made, but they have like select things that they're like, oh yeah, this is my thing. Like my dad is meatloaf. Have I ever made meatloaf for y'all?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll have to make you the meatloaf once, because it's...
I've never actually
Well,
had meatloaf, if I'm being honest.
It's not a meatloaf, they're mini loaves. So you like make the
Is
meatloaf
meatloaf like
mixture.
good? Because I've never actually had
Oh
meatloaf.
my
I love
god!
meatloaf,
Well,
yeah.
you'll have to have this one. It's so good. Oh, you'll love it because it has ketchup on top.
Yay! She was
It's like
making
a
fun of me
ketchup
before
brown
this.
sugar mixture, and you like brush it on the top.
Okay, so
Saying
like
all the right things.
Okay, so like is
I'll make
meatloaf just like I'm just trying to because I've never
Meatloaf.
It's like bread.
But,
It
like,
looks
just
like
meat?
bread, but it's like meat.
Okay, that's
So,
what
okay.
I thought. I didn't know if it
So
was.
like what goes in ours is like you could use any type of meat. I normally just make it with ground beef, and then like peppers and onions.
Sounds
and
so good.
Season it. Some like we use, actually a lot of people I think use breadcrumbs, but we use Ritz crackers like crushed up in it, and
that sounds good.
Like
Cole's
sauces,
nutting over here.
spices, whatever.
Again, with that word.
It's true.
No. It's not.
Sauces,
Anyway.
spices, whatever. And then make them mini loaves and brush it with like ketchup and brown sugar. I'll make them.
Brown sugar?
Ketchup mixed with brown sugar. Yeah, so it's like sweet on the top. Oh, so good.
This is why she's Chef Meg. Like we call her. Well, Cole
That
calls
one
her Chef
comes
Meg.
from my dad.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
It's I'll make. We'll see. Maybe I'll make it this week.
I remember that one day
We'll see
you
what the
helped me.
schedule
You
looks
helped me
like.
make my It was like a potato egg thingy. Do you remember helping me make that?
No.
It was like years ago when you were living like right across the hallway, and you invited us over to just hang out. And I was making dinner that night for me, and I was trying a new recipe. It was just like a potato with like chives, cheese, pepper.
Yes,
and
it was
eggs.
like a twice baked potato, but
Yeah.
you put egg in it.
Yeah.
And that threw me off because I was like, normally you just take the filling out, mix it up with other stuff, like sour cream, cheese, bacon bits, whatever, and put it back in, but you put an egg in. And I was like, what's going on?
Yeah,
I do remember that.
And I remember
What is this?
I was confused.
she was like, "This is disgusting." In
Well,
my
'cause
brain, I'm like,
potato
"Ah."
and egg, like the way you were doing it didn't make sense. And I thought about it. I was like, that's really what you have for breakfast is like hash browns or like, what's the name of the other breakfast?
Tater tots?
No,
Bacon.
home fries, which is literally like chunks of. You don't know what home
I know
fries
what
are?
you're talking about, but
What
that's
is
not
it?
what I was thinking.
Home fries?
Home fries, is that one of those words that you were talking
Well,
about?
we found it.
Home
Is
fries.
it? What is it? Is it like tater tots or what is?
No, it's like cut up, like cubed up pieces of potato that are seasoned, like breakfast potato.
Oh.
But we
Oh.
call them home fries.
Isn't that? Oh, I know what you're talking
Well,
about.
you
Because
said
there's
a-
hash browns, which are like all diced
Yeah,
up
yeah,
or
yeah,
in
yeah.
strips, and
Yeah.
you like crisp them
Because they
up
serve
real
that
good.
at Crown, right? I think I've had
Yeah,
those at Crown
probably.
before. Yeah.
But then home fries are like
Just like cut up.
cubed
Yeah,
potato.
yeah. I just call them like mini fries, honestly.
Well, they're not fries. They're like quarters of potatoes,
Yeah,
but not wedges.
But they taste like fries because they're all potatoes.
Because they're seasoned for breakfast. I don't
Potato's a potato to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Alright,
guess.
alright,
I
whatever.
don't know. We call them home fries. Kelly gets them all the time.
No, I heard this. This is so off topic, but I heard someone say like, "Man, I feel I look like a potato," and then I heard like a new response because like, what do you say if someone says like, "Oh man, I look like a potato"? No, you don't. Like, I guess you can say that, but
I'll
like
either just like kind of ignore it or just be like.
for
"No,
me,
you don't."
I'm like, if someone
A
if I
good-looking
now
potato.
well, what I hear now, like if someone says like, man, I look like a potato," and I just look at them, I like French fries, like that's a. See, that's a good response,
likes
right?
that.
That's a good response, isn't it?
Like,
Take
I'll
notes.
write that one
I
down.
heard that
That's pretty
recently,
good.
like, I like French fries. That's a fire response, honestly.
Ooh, or you could say, yeah, sweet potato.
You would
No,
say
but then
that.
you're.
I would say that.
Yeah.
No, but then you're implying they still look like a potato.
But
But they're my
you're put-
potato. Wait, that didn't come out.
That kind of reminds me of the little trend where people were like, if I was a worm, like, would you still?
Would you still love me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know why
yeah.
that reminded me of that. You know what I'm talking about? The trend on TikTok is like, if I was a worm,
There's
would
a,
you still love me? And I'm like,
This is also off topic. There's a guy on TikTok who literally his entire spiel is like, if a woman asks a guy a question that's like clearly a trap, he'll like tell you how to answer it correctly. So one of them was like, if given like $10 million, would you break up, or would you like get back with your ex or something like that? And the guy said, all right, guys, here's how do you answer it. Break up with your girlfriend. Now she's your ex.
Oh,
Get back together.
no, it was like another question because it was like, if you had to kiss your ex to save my life, would you do that? That was the question.
Oh, that's what
yeah,
it
because it was like
I think there's different versions of.
Yeah.
yeah,
that.
but I heard that one, and they're like, "Oh, I definitely kiss my ex to save you." And then she was like, "You would kiss your ex?" But then, like, I've heard like that one's like, "You break up with your girlfriend, then she's your
Then
ex."
you're right.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's a whole.
Well, I've heard another one was like my wife hates it when I call her my ex girlfriend. she
I've not heard that. That's funny.
That's funny.
My ex-girlfriend.
that was an older one, but I think that's really funny.
And that's funny.
That's
I didn't even. I
funny.
never.
One
heard
day
that
I might
before.
whip that and they're like, okay, what?
My ex-fiance.
Yeah, we don't really talk anymore. But my wife's pretty cool.
That sounds more serious than ex-girlfriend. Like your ex-fiance. Be like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like we got
What?
married.
Yeah, we married. I married her.
That's good. I like that.
I like that. That's funny.
Oh no, like we're still together.
Yeah. We're just married.
Okay, so like in the process of that, did you explain like why you like to cook? Is it just like for the convenience of it, kind of like?
Yeah. I'm. Yeah. Honestly.
Did you learn to cook like from like YouTube or just like cookbooks or recipes or like? Did you just?
Pinterest? A lot of Pinterest actually.
interesting.
But for some things, I'll just be like, what sounds good, and then I'll like piece a couple things together. Because I also will just make like some sort of meat, like a fish or a chicken.
Well, so like whenever you
or
cook, does it
with
normally go the way that
something.
you like want it to be?
Yeah.
For the most part, must be nice.
I don't know why, because
That's
I
so-
know a lot. I know y'all think that that's so cool, but I think it's really interesting that like it doesn't for people. I'm like, how did that not work out? Especially if you followed a recipe.
No,
but
but
I
like-
don't even. I'll just like think of what do I want this to be, and then I'll make it. And
But
there it
that's the
is.
thing. Like I've never heard like seen you mess up a recipe before. Because like there's one time I remember you said, "Oh, I messed up this banana bread," and it's like actually just like crispier than it should be, I guess.
It was probably like cooking time or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here like this is just like crunchy banana bread, which I actually prefer, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
I
I'm just
probably
like
just left it in too long.
yeah, and I'm just like, how do you? That's not messed up. And she's like, oh, it's terrible. Like it's a little burnt. And I'm like, where? What?
It's like I left it in a little too long. Meanwhile, I'm crying eating. This is the best thing I've ever had in my life. I was like, you cooked it just.
And I'm over here like, Meg, how do you just not mess? Because like you like you said, you've never really like messed up recipes. But I'm over here like I almost messed up that potato that you helped me cook, and I'm over here like, man, we just don't know how. I don't know how. Okay.
I mean,
What words?
I think it comes from like on a regular basis we didn't have time to make like dinners at home. But when it comes to time, like whenever I would have time off or if it was a holiday or whatever, my mom and I will spend the entire time in the kitton cooking / cleaning
Your
up from
kitchen's pretty
cooking.
big, right?
It's,
From
Yeah,
what I
I have a
remember,
massive
yeah.
kitchen. I remember.
It's huge. My mom like had my dad built it the way that she wanted it to be laid out.
True love.
Yeah, he made the blueprints for our house, so they could have put whatever they wanted in there.
Y'all have like a lot of land, don't you?
Yeah, it was fun growing up.
Oh, it must
It's
be.
fun to go back to. I don't do anything with it now, but like I used to ride my 4-wheeler around.
That's a flex.
What was that?
That's a flex. Oh my gosh. Imagine, yeah, I'll just, what'd you ride around when you were 14? My 4-wheeler. And I'm over here like, I rode my bicycle across the
They
street.
got to school by horseback, Thomas.
No, like we all had a 4-wheeler. Jack and Colby, I mean, I rode it a couple times. They had a dirt bike for a while. Colby has a dirt bike again for mountain bike training purposes. I don't know. But
I owned a longboard.
We had a like little it was basically a dirt track that we had made just from riding it. Like we didn't cut the grass out. We did it by riding.
Did y'all
Erosion.
ever like explore like the woods? Because I know you have like woods around you. Okay, I didn't know.
Colby has a bunch of bike trails in there now.
That
but
must be so
he
fun.
loves it. He's always out there. If he's at home, he's out there doing that. Or making a new track. If he's not riding his current ones, he's like, I'm going to build a new trail. And I'm like, okay,
Have fun. Don't hurt yourself.
I'll be here. I'll let Ryder out to see you in a little bit. But no, we have, back when we used to do the Halloween parties, which, have I told
Oh,
you about that?
yeah.
that's
You
it.
told me about that.
We
I forgot
used to
about
do
that.
huge Halloween parties at our house. And they started when we were little, like at our old house down the street, because I've lived on the same street since I was 1. Just moved down a little bit at like 7 or 8. But they started at the old house down the street. And we used the woods to build like the haunted trail part of the party. And so my dad and all the neighborhood dads would like work together and come up with this.
The
really cool
neighborhood
thing.
dads.
Yeah, the neighborhood dads. My dad made these crazy decorations to go in it. I made a guillotine, which I actually just found out this week. It was all wood. The blade was wood.
Oh,
too. It was
okay.
just
I
painted
was about to
silver.
say, we killed some kids to show that it works.
It was just painted silver. But I just found out literally this past weekend when I was home, I don't know. I was home recently. And I found out the last time I was there that one of the neighbors saw it in the woods and called the police.
The guillotine?
Yes.
Oh,
And
it's still there?
No. This was like
back when-
we
yeah,
had
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We sold it to or gave it away to somebody that does like the trick or treat whatever at the campground site at Dan Nicholas Park. Did you ever go there?
Mm-mm.
It was fun. Well, you wouldn't like it now, but if you went when you were a kid, you would have thought it was fun. But we gave it away a few years ago. But apparently when we had it, and it was around that time, because the woods that we did it in were the ones that were right behind all the houses in the neighborhood, because like our house sits behind the neighborhood. So that line of trees, those woods area was part of the haunted trail. And so they saw it back there and they called the police and they're like, there's a guillotine in the woods. And the police were like, oh my God, what? And they came and checked it out. And my dad was like, it's literally all wood. If they had gotten any like amount close to it, they would have seen that. It's literally just painted silver, the blade part.
Yeah.
Like, it's not real. It's literally made of wood.
That's
but,
funny.
Yeah.
So what did the cops do? Nothing?
Nothing. It was wood.
They just shook your dad's
It
hand
didn't
and
even
walked
work.
away.
It was just the shape. Like, the blade didn't do anything because it was just built to look like a guillotine. Didn't actually do anything.
Did your cops ask, hey, can I go through the haunted forest actually?
I don't know. I wasn't there. But
Oh, what year was this?
probably like 2000 something.
So why weren't you there?
2010s maybe. No, like when the police came, I was like not there. I was telling him I didn't find out about this until the most recent time I was home, which was like a week ago.
Oh, really?
I just found out that somebody had called the cops about it. I didn't know that until like a week ago. And
That's
Dad
funny.
was like, yeah, I don't know what that was about. It was literally a all wood Halloween decoration guillotine.
You said your family doesn't do it anymore now, right?
No, we haven't done it since it was either like late middle school for Jack or early high school. But like when we got to that age where Jack's friends were, like I said, either in middle school or high school, and it became sort of like parents just dropped their preteen boys off. My parents were like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. And so
I would love
Put
for
the
your
cord
parents to
on
do it
that.
again, because like I feel like I speaking for myself, I would love to help with it.
it would be a
don't know
very
if you would.
different experience now, though, because we're all grown.
We can make it scarier then.
I don't think I want it scarier. I was horrified. I didn't want to do it the last few years because it started, like, it was a big thing. And people that didn't even help plan the party would help with the
The haunted forest.
Yeah, part of it. So it got so scary. Like I would literally be like holding on to whoever's next to me and like like they were
I
basically
would love
carrying
that
me
because I
through
love
it.
like haunted forests and like haunted things because I don't know if you went to any of them, but like back in Raleigh, there's like a bunch of things
I
with
can't
Halloween.
stand it. It's so scary.
So like
I don't like it.
in Raleigh, there's this thing. It's called like the haunted. It's not Justice, but like they have other things. But it's the haunted corn maze. So like you go in like a maze of. Like,
A corn maze.
Yeah, like a cornfield
The maze of what was it? Corn. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Ah.
And like
One
you
in
go in there,
Richfield.
they have like a bunch of like other attractions and stuff like that. But you go in there, find your way out.
Yeah.
The biggest one was it's like the tractor trail. So you go, it's like a tractor, and it's like holding on to, it's like attached with other people where you can sit on it, and
Yeah.
it goes around this like place, and it's
The
just like
hayride?
no, it wasn't a hayride. It was just like a big area that they like went around, and they have like actors that pop out during it. So like there was at one point someone with like a unbladed chainsaw that came
Yeah,
onto
my dad did that.
Yeah,
a lot of them
and
did, and they would just
that
rev
was like
it,
one of my
and I'm like,
favorite. Oh yeah, they're like, let me chop off your arm, and they like put the blade on me, but like
Yeah.
nothing
It doesn't-
happened.
There's nothing on it.
Yeah,
It's
so I'm just like,
making noise.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
My arm.
Put some ketchup on your.
Oh my gosh.
So then, yeah, but like we had like a bunch of things like that in Raleigh at least. There's a bunch of attractions like that, but like it
They're
was
everywhere.
yeah, and like I remember going to those because I loved going to it, and I
You would have
love.
loved the one that my dad did.
That's what I'm saying. I love like Halloween like attractions stuff like that. I would definitely help with it and like go to it if your family did it.
So like in terms of what was set up, it wasn't a whole lot. Like we had this area that was built to be like a quote unquote grave site, and like that's where the guillotine was, and we had pieced together like skeletons or like leaf stuffed bodies or whatever. But probably the coolest things that my dad implemented in there in terms of like the environment was he dug a hole and put couch cushions in the
I
hole
think I remember
and
you
covered
telling
it
me
with
this.
dirt, and so it felt you were walking across like this squishy, uneven surface.
I think I remember you telling
But
me
it
about
was
this.
recovered, so you
See
couldn't
it.
see anything.
Yeah.
It just looked like ground.
That's
and then all of a sudden you
cool.
were walking in squishy, right? And then at the very end, they made this big TP tarp type thing. And there was all sorts of stuff like laid in it, and the whole thing had strobe lights. Like the whole length of the trail was strobed with lights and like just flashing stuff. But when you were in the tent, it just got pitch black. And so it was literally like a blacked out tarp TP'd over a string that ran from like one tree to another.
That's so cool.
Just going through it. And that's where a lot of the chainsaw action was. So they're like
sounds so
cutting
fun.
on the side of the
Yeah.
tarp with you hear the chainsaws revving, and then like people are reaching under and like grabbing at your legs.
Yeah.
You can't see a thing. Like you don't even know where you're going, and people are like reaching in and chainsaws are all around you. And then like people are like banging on the side of the tent. Oh god.
See, that sounds fun because I went to like this haunted. It was like a haunted house, but it was more like a haunted, like warehouse. It was
Yeah.
like bigger than a like actual house. And the one thing that like really hurt my eyes was the strobe lights.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just strobing; it was like flashing strobing.
Yeah, there's always so many strobe lights.
Yeah,
in those
but
places.
it was in the worst area possible because it was in like a metal maze, and like me being blind as is,
Where am I going?
I literally was like, where am I going? And like because we were supposed to be running from like one of the persons that's chasing us.
Yeah.
At one point, the person just felt bad for me and just like guided me out. He was like, here you
This is the
go.
way out.
He like stopped scaring me. He was like,
Okay, bud.
no, I looked at him. I was like, I'm not even afraid of you. I'm just like afraid of not being getting out. I'm like, I
afraid
can't
I'm
even
stuck
see.
in here forever.
He like put the chainsaw down and like walked me out. And like guided me out.
Could you imagine you just get like a fork of it and you're left.
left.
The guy tells you where to go.
That's literally
Oh,
what
that'd be
basically
cool.
happened. And like it was fun if I could see more. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like that was the only problem with it. But I love like haunted stuff. Like I don't know if you do, because I don't know. Do you like scary stuff like that?
Don't take me anywhere scary.
I mean,
I love scary stuff, scary movies.
Scarowinds, give me a Nobu necklace.
I've never been to Scarowinds.
I've been
No
twice.
what?
A Nobu necklace.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh
Have you
my-
heard of that?
No.
Have you been to Scarowinds?
No.
Have you?
I've never been to
Our
Carowinds,
friend goes there
period.
like all the
You
time.
should go to Carowinds
I've never
because
been.
it's so much fun. But Scarowinds has these little light up pumpkin necklaces that say Nobu, and so like
They don't
you're-
scare you?
You're wearing, and they can see that it's lit up, so they won't like. Because
Oh, that's cool.
Scarowinds, like obviously you can go through. They have haunted houses placed throughout the park, but then also there's people walking around within just the park itself. So, like you can wait in line for hours to go in the houses, whatever. But just walking around, like if you want to ride, there could be a scare on the ride behind you if you're riding the roller coasters during
okay.
Scarowinds. Like they could be next to you for all you know. Like they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And so it obviously if you go there and you don't want to be scared, definitely don't get in line to go to the haunted house. But if you're just walking around, they won't like
Yeah.
scare you.
That's good because like I feel like I know
So
some
you
people
can
get
still
scared.
go with your friends and have fun, but like, you don't have to go in the haunted house. You can wait for them when they do that, and then no one will really scare you when you're out in the park. Because the freakiest thing about Scarowinds is towards people have said that they're everywhere. I only ever encountered them towards the back of the park, but they're on rollerblades or roller skates, but they have these like spark pads on their arms and their legs.
Yeah.
And so they'll come and slide next to you, and it makes this horrifying screeching sound and like just this like kind of just whoosh right beside you or like right in a circle around you or whatever. But you don't see them coming at all, and then all of a sudden there's just like this loud screeching
Yeah, that
kind
could be
of
freaky.
sliding sound right behind you
That-
or
oh
right
my
between your legs
That sounds
or something.
so cool though.
Oh my god, it's horrifying.
Oh, I would love that because that reminds
you know,
me of
you're just like sitting there on your phone, like waiting for a friend, or like you're waiting to go to the line for the bathroom, and then somebody comes up. No, it's like the sound. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's horrifying. Ugh.
Well, that
hated
reminds
it.
me because like the corn maze like field thingy that we went to, they have scares too, but like
Yeah.
the scares are like off the rip because as soon as you park, they're like in the parking lot.
Yeah, they just wander around those
Yeah.
places. And I'm like, leave me alone.
Yeah, so, like,
I
there
have
was
to
one
mentally
time-
prepare.
No, this is one time I walked out, like I got out of my car with one of my friends and like we're walking like towards the entrance of the field and everything. And like my friend turns to me like, there's someone following us. And I'm like, what? What are you
Yeah.
talking about? And I turned and I was like, oh, that's just one of the scares. He was like, oh, okay. I thought it was like some actual like regular person
Yeah.
like walking and following us. And I'm like, I don't know which one would be scarier, like the actual scarer or like someone following
Someone
us.
following you.
I would think
Oh
so.
yeah,
Definitely someone following you.
What if it was both? Just like,
sure.
That'd be the scariest.
yeah. But yeah,
Oh.
I just remember that, and like that was freaky because it was like a clown with like a machete, and I was like, that's cool. Come say hi.
That's such a weird character trait about me. Like, I love Halloween. It's probably one of my favorite holidays, but I really don't like being scared.
It's not. It's for me. It's not
if
even.
I'm with somebody that I can like
yeah.
grab
Meat shield.
onto and like not even look, I'll go. But like, I don't really like it.
No, so like it's not even really the whole like scary aspect for me. It's just I don't really like people like bothering me. Like if I'm just going somewhere to like enjoy
bother
something,
you a lot.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if you're going somewhere to like enjoy something and
That's
just have
their
a good
entire
time.
job.
Yeah, if you're going somewhere just to have a good time, I don't want like a bunch of people coming up to me and say about bah and like poke you and like
Yeah.
do stuff to it. I just kind of want to like enjoy the scenery and everything like that. So
Well,
that sounds really
I'll
like
get you back.
dweeb, but I mean I don't know.
No,
I
it's
just,
because I kind of agree, but at the same time, like it just depends on my mood. Because like people have bothered me, I'm like I really don't want to be bothered right now. But then there's times like people would scare me, and like I wouldn't be like I'm not really easily scared.
No,
Well,
I'm actually scared.
I'm
Like,
not easily scared, especially with like well, like haunted places, because like people, because my game I would do, which is a terrible game, is like how can I ignore these scarers? Like that's my game because they.
No. I wish I was like brave enough to just not be affected by it and just be like, I'm gonna make fun of you for trying to scare me. I wish I could be like that, but I'm too.
I feel like that's how I would be.
No, I
probably.
get
One.
too scared.
Me
I'm
or
like,
me or her.
Me.
I'm gonna start crying.
Because like do you know the story about when I went to Gatlinburg, like the Dick's Last Resort, the restaurant where they like make fun of you or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen videos
Did I tell
of
you that story?
You went?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to tell.
I went and so they give you like the paper hats and they put like
Yes,
something
like
stupid.
something really crazy. written on it.
Mine said
Generally something inappropriate.
oh what was it? It was like it's something about like so short I'm like on my balls when I pee or something like that. It was really stupid or something.
Okay.
But the woman obviously like their whole thing is like being rude to you.
Be rude to you.
But she wrote my hat and I put it on and I was like, what does my thing say? And my friends read it and they're like, oh, like that's funny or whatever. And I was like, what? And they told me what it said. And I said, what? I thought it was supposed to be like a joke. And the lady like completely broke character. She was like, and just started laughing.
That's what I'm saying. So like that's what I would do because like
It was so
when people
funny.
would scare me, I'd be like, how long you been working? They're like 13 hours, and I'm like, dude.
No, I literally will like go through like this and try not to get even close.
Bro's got
I wish
kids
I
to
could be
feed.
like that.
Oh,
I
that's
wish.
funny.
I need to go with Thomas because then I'll just be behind him making them laugh and I'll be like, okay.
See,
leave
like,
me
yeah,
alone.
I would if I were to go to one of those things, I would want to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, bro, where'd you get that wig? Amazon or something? Like, you just completely
Make
like
fun
shit
of them the whole time.
No, but there's that one point I went to because I told you there's like the scarers around. The corn maze one. There's a guy that came up with like with a chainsaw. I said, "Can I see your chainsaw?" He said, "No," and I'm like, "Why not?" he said, "Why not?" I said, "Why not?" He said, "Because it's dangerous." I'm like, "There's no blade on it."
Can I get your chainsaw?
You're like, bro, it's literally a prop. Don't be greedy. Let me see it.
No, and then when I went on the tractor, there was some guy like that hopped on, and then he left, and I was about to like jump off and follow him, but the guy was like, no, you stay off.
Stay there.
I told you, I have so much fun.
I would so want to do that. That's
I
so-
need to go with you.
It's so
then.
fun. Like it's so fun to go doing stuff like that because like I know these because the easiest thing to make it not scary is because you know these people are like the same as you. Like these are people
Yeah.
that work and like make money for it. So like
Heck, half of them are probably in like high school.
they are. That's what I'm saying. Because like I told you, I asked the guy
Oh
like how
my
long you been working. He said 13 hours. So I'm like, dude, I know you're tired.
Yeah, yo, you just bring him like a bottle of water.
No, you know what makes it funnier? Because it was at the end of the strobe light maze. I see a water like a bottle water bottle like
Yep.
next to the door, and the guy's like sitting there like drinking it out of. He lifts like his mask and drinking out of it, and I'm just like,
They
"Hey
get
man, you
thirsty,
thirsty?" He said,
too.
"Yeah."
I bet it gets hot in there.
It is so hot, especially with all the strobe lights and like the costumes.
The ones that make me laugh, which is like part of the reason I'm so like giggly right now, is I think of those videos. I don't know if you've seen them, but like the people specifically they're on like stilts or something that make them so
Yeah.
big, and they like trip. So they start like so they're chasing somebody and they trip and they just completely like eat shit.
No, but just imagine.
It's so
what do you
funny.
say after that? Can someone help me?
Try to build it into your character play, I guess. I don't know.
Casper, can you help me?
Or yeah, you start like crawling after
Yeah.
him or something. He's like, you didn't mean to do that,
like,
did you?
look really creepy or something.
That's what I'm saying. Halloween is such a like it's funny because like I don't really like look forward for Halloween.
I love Halloween.
I like Halloween.
As
but,
I've
like,
gotten older, I've liked Halloween
I
a lot
love
more.
Halloween.
but it's
I
just-
love the decorations and everything.
See, I love the decorations and stuff like that, but like as we get older, we don't do much for Halloween. Like I personally haven't done.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything
You're
for
not
Halloween the past couple.
trick-or-treating or
I haven't
anything.
gone for the past couple years and done anything. Everyone's like, go to Scarowinds. I'm like, I mean, I have no one to go with, nor have I gone to Carowinds.
Well, let's all
and, like,
go.
What?
Let's all go.
I'm cool with that.
Well, Kayla, I think she's tried to give us like passes a
Just
couple
give
times.
me the Nobu necklace and we'll be good.
I'll give
Well,
you the
but the
My
thing
Boo
is-
necklace.
What'd you say? What did you say?
Nothing. Just keep going, Thomas.
Okay.
She got it.
Oh.
I really hope your parents are listening to this.
Oh my gosh.
So like, whoa.
Take a
What?
hand manage. Well, like I don't know about you, but like because we at least since we both grew up in Raleigh, I keep thinking like Carowinds like 2.5 hours away, and I keep thinking that because it's in Charlotte.
It's like less than an hour.
I know
from
it's like 30 minutes from here, but like because I grew up in Raleigh, I always keep thinking like, oh, Carowinds is like 2
here. I
hours
had a
away.
season pass to Carowinds my freshman year of college. It was so fun.
You know where we do need to go back again? If I can remember the name of it. What's
Yes.
that water place?
The
Wet and Wild,
Whitewater
Emerald
Center.
Point.
No,
The Whitewater Center?
Yeah, the Whitewater Center.
Oh,
That was a lot of
That was
fun.
fun. I
Yes.
miss doing that,
Go back.
especially like the popsicles and.
Come like April or May, they'll open back up.
Do you
for
have
all
the
their
season?
fun
You have like the summer
stuff.
pass?
Like the parking pass? Yeah, I'll have it again. I don't have it yet, but when they open up for spring,
We should
summer
we should make
activities,
what we
I'll
did
get
like
it
2
all.
years ago. You remember that?
Oh, I remember.
Like the picnics. Oh,
Yeah.
I know you remember.
Yeah, when we were like brought the blanket and just listened to River Jam, that was fun.
Didn't you brought a friend, didn't you?
No, it's just us.
Or no?
I saw someone that I knew.
That's
when we were
right,
there.
yeah.
Like one of the
Oh, it was someone from like
was
your
that?
program, wasn't it?
I don't know if
It was like
somebody
two
from
girls,
my
I think.
program or somebody that I knew from like here.
It was
living here.
the nurse girl.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, I thought it was.
No. I know who you're talking about. Oh, that's Elena, but
I
that's
thought it
not
was
who
Elena.
No. Heck,
Really?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was somebody that I knew that just happened to be there also.
Yeah, I remember because I raced them when they were drunk.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Because
I
we
do
forgot
remember
about
we
that.
walked around like the
Yeah,
trail.
the gravel track.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun. I want to.
Yeah.
I still have
I
one of
love-
them.
I go to the Whitewater
I have
Center
one
all
of
the
their
time.
one of them numbers. I don't. They gave me their number, and like I've never talked to her after that.
Well,
I don't remember. I just remember she was kind of fine, but like I don't remember her that much.
now I really want to remember.
I don't remember who it was.
Oh my
Like
God.
she gave me her number. We texted.
She's
like,
listening right now, Thomas. So
I highly doubt it.
she's not listening.
I don't even know who it was.
She texted. She texted me, and I texted her, and we never talked after that.
It was somebody that I had met at the pool. That's who it was. 'Cause I
Oh,
had
it was
just
like
seen
your
her
friends like
earlier.
from volleyball, right?
Yeah.
They played volleyball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember a little bit now. Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Because I was literally just with her earlier.
Yes,
That day. Because I
that's
was at
right.
the pool.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
I like got changed, showered, whatever, and then we all went.
I
and
do
we ran into
remember
her
that.
there. That's who it was.
He said she was kind of fine, but we never talked.
We
Got
never
her
talked
number
after that.
and did nothing with it.
Smooth.
I think I have her number still on my phone. I just have to
That's
scroll
crazy.
Hit
through
her up,
it.
Thomas, at the end of this episode.
I don't remember. I don't think
This
I saved her
could go
number.
somewhere really special.
Yeah.
Considering she never responded to me.
You
I-
remember
yeah,
where
I
you're like
totally-
pissed drunk and I raced you the Whitewaters?
She's
No.
like, no.
Exactly.
Then she probably don't remember giving her my number to me.
Exactly. Be like, who is this?
Who
Who's
dis?
that? How'd you get my number? Who is this?
It's your dream boy. Dream boy.
Yikes.
Sorry, but
We
yeah,
both
I go
just
to
tried to
Whitewater
say-
Center all
we're meant to be.
the
I like
time.
I like the Whitewater Center, so we should go back. That and
Yes.
Carolyn.
What's
Carowinds
it?
Kayla's been trying to get us to go
So
to-
it's like Carowinds just kind of like
is the best place.
is Carowinds kind of like a mini Disney?
Well, Disney is like a whole theme.
Okay,
park.
I guess more like is Carowinds like a mini King's Dominion?
It is.
Okay,
It's King's Dominion. They are the same.
I've never been to either. I just can.
Oh.
I just know the comparison. I heard that's a
Yes,
comparison.
They're the same.
Or like Busch Gardens is the same
Yes.
thing. Never
Yeah.
been either, but yeah.
Why are you making comparisons?
I'm
to ones
just-
you've never
I'm
even
just-
been?
I'm just
You're
saying-
listing off the ones you know.
No, I'm just listing things I've heard.
I've
Adventure
actually
Landing.
never been to Busch
That's
Gardens.
I've been to there. Adventure
Where?
Landing.
That's like a
That's like
a
Chuck E.
golf
Cheese.
place
It's like
or
Chuck E.
whatever.
Cheese
Yeah.
basically.
Oh.
No, it's like Chuck E. No, it's like Frankie's. Adventure Landing is like
Or
Frankie's.
what is it, Dave and Buster's or whatever?
Been there.
Kind of. Yeah.
I don't think I've been there before.
It's
Honestly.
like a big arcade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that just because they have one in Concord Mills, right?
They do.
Do they? Ooh.
Yep. I've been
It's
there.
right next to the Dick's.
Guys, we're just setting up a lot of plans.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Hmm?
You've been what? Oh, setting up a lot of plans.
Sounds like you're setting me up for bankruptcy.
Correct.
Oh, no.
Not
alright.
correct.
Well, the Whitewater Center can be for free.
That is free
Ooh.
because you drive us, and I will give you food.
I make that parking pass worth it in less than a month. Like I use it so fast because you only have to go like 10 times.
Cause
to make
remembering the times from last time we went.
It was a lot of fun.
It
I had a lot
was
of
fun.
And now I think that I have more of an appreciation for country music. I'd probably enjoy it more because they do kind of like the bluegrass.
Bluegrass.
Yeah.
Well, I also want to do things like the whitewater
walk.
rafting and
Yeah.
stuff
Well,
like that.
that
out with the
stuff you have
whitewater
to pay
center.
for. Like you have to get tickets for all of that.
Never
The
mind.
Get in
yoga
there,
that
champ.
I do, and then river jam,
Sorry, keep going.
like just walking around, whatever. Like any of that is free. The biking, if you have your own bike, is free.
I remember who the girl was. I don't know her name, but she worked at the Whitewater Center.
That's
Oh,
right.
Yeah, because I remember.
You
'cause
talked to her. You
Yeah.
talked to her for a really long time
Yeah.
about that, and you were like,
That's
I think
why I
I'm
rem-
gonna work here."
That's
You
why I
were never
remember.
actually.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna work there,
Oh my
but she
gosh, I
she
forgot about that.
because she was talking about because I was
Yes.
talking about how I want to whitewater raft,
Yep.
and she was like, "Oh yeah, I worked that like part," and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool," and then
And
we were like,
you could literally do it every day.
"Yeah," and we were talking about it, and she was like,
I forgot about
I forgot about that too. That just came back because you were talking. I was literally talking about the water.
Love at first.
right. Doesn't even remember.
No, that love
I bet
fell when she
Cole-
told me to pay.
Huh? What?
Nothing.
I said what she did there, Meg.
Oh, I just,
No, she was telling me
I'm
about
gonna
it.
go
'cause
back
she
at
was-
1:34 and listen to what you just said. And I'd be like,
Mr. Chan's call.
Are you up, Meg? I gotta
Well,
talk to you
'cause
about something.
He's saying he forgot, but I'm saying I bet you didn't forget.
Well, that's what he's also been insinuating this whole time. Do you remember the little maneuver that I pulled when we were there that we have a video of?
So she forgot.
You hear right here? You remember that?
What was the reaction to that though?
You
'Cause,
just
like,
you whipped your
You did-
hand
you-
away.
You went like
that
this.
sounds right.
I was like, yo,
It's
watch.
giving
You know what's funny too? I feel like
talking about the mind.
Yeah.
well, when we were talking about like when you were like if somebody were to scare you, I've been watching. I don't know why I go down these weird rabbit holes at night on YouTube.
Everyone does. No, it's the Facebook watch that gets me.
I go down these weird rabbit holes on YouTube.
I used to when I use Facebook a lot.
Like
I
Instagram
used to be
Reels
like,
now,
Yeah,
too. It's
Instagram
like-
and TikTok for me.
Instagram Reels is the same thing. as
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook Watch or whatever. I think it's Watch. I don't know what it's actually called.
No, it is.
The
You're right.
Facebook
It is
videos.
Facebook Watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've been going
Anywhere
down.
you go.
I'm going down a rabbit hole of like
For sure.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And whenever somebody, have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Do you remember like when any time like he wasn't expecting somebody to walk up and I'd be like, what? He, like put his hands up like that.
Yeah.
At like Scarowinds, and I'd be like, ah, Meg's just in the fighting position.
Always fight, never flight.
That's a good thing. though.
Meg just turns around and right hooks the guy.
Oh, for real. Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine
Yeah.
she's at like a haunted house and she just right hooks like the cloud.
Oh my gosh. Like, don't touch me or I will hit you back.
Meg just two-piece the employee. Brah, whack.
And he said, "Oh, come on, I had 2 hours left."
Yeah. Sorry,
funny.
scary people. Leave me alone or I might punch you in the face on accident.
That actually does make me excited though. If Puss in Boots is the movie that we watch on Wednesday, because I really wanted to see that movie.
I'm excited
so-
for that
What was your
movie.
segue for that? That was
Huh?
really random.
Well, we just talked about like an animated movie, so it
Oh,
just
Cloudy
made
with a Chance of
me think
Meatballs.
because
Okay.
I've been seeing like mad clips of that movie.
Yeah.
I have
and
too.
I'm trying to
Actually
like
have,
not
yeah.
watch a lot of it
I've
because
seen
I
a lot
want to.
of, like, it's creeping into my TikTok
Well-
recently, and I'm like, get out of here.
Cause
I
like,
haven't
didn't
seen
they
it.
do like a what is it, personification of like death, basically?
Yeah,
in
because the
movie?
villain in that movie is like really cool.
he's really cool. He looks
So-
really cool.
I don't know anything about the villain.
Well, we won't spoil it
Yeah.
for you.
Okay.
Are you coming?
We'll see.
It's poker night too. I know you don't care for poker, but
I've never
I'm so
played
excited.
poker.
I know you don't care, but I'm so excited for poker. Like
We'll play Go Fish at a separate table,
Yeah.
or we'll play Skippo at a separate table.
And I'm in. Skippo, I'm there.
See, like, well, it's just like I've been I have like an itch for gambling recently, and like I don't know if that's
Yeah.
just blood related or not, but like I'm just really.
You gotta stop saying that.
It's true. What?
You gotta eat. Yeah. Don't.
Well, I'm just like really itching to gamble because like my family is a big gambler, and like I've been raised to basically be a gambler, so
That is against my ethical code
to gamble,
as an athletic trainer.
huh?
As an athletic trainer.
Gambling is against. Oh, like sports betting or something? Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, why?
Yeah, I was like so confused. Oh, okay.
I got a 20 on the tight end.
I got a 20 on horse 2. Horse number 2.
Cannot. It's a big no-no.
That's fair.
Big
Fair enough.
no-no.
Well, but like we're not actually like playing with real money. We're just playing with chips. It's like that's gambling, but like there's no money involved. It's just chips.
Sure.
Eventually, hopefully, I hope
Barbecue
to get, like
chips.
$10
I don't really like barbecue chips.
salt and vinegar.
Nope.
Sour cream and onion.
I'm not really a chip person.
Tostitos.
No.
Okay.
Cookies
Sorry.
is Meg's kryptonite, right?
Y'all know though,
That's
I
my
don't even
cooking.
I don't even really eat them that much.
Cookies?
Like when I make them, that's why. I
Oh, that's
give them
true. That's why
away.
we get 'em all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I enjoy the process of baking. Like.
That's why
some-
when you bought them for my birthday, I've never been so excited
Oh
in
my
my
gosh,
life.
I made so many, and I brought you a bunch, and then I brought you more, and I was like, what
And
the
I ate
heck?
all of it.
I know.
Yeah, you should feel honored because Kayla made him like 3 muffins and he left them on his table for like 2 or 3 weeks and they got mold on them. And he never
Okay,
ate
but the
them.
thing is, I have more of a craving for like cookies and like peanut butter muffin, like chocolate chip peanut butter muffins.
Yeah,
I just don't like eat muffins like that. Like that's the thing. So like I
I love muffins.
And
they
I
would
also
have been gone that night if Kayla made me some muffins.
that's biased opinion,
Why don't you just go take them?
huh?
Me? Why didn't I take them?
Yeah.
Well, they were his birthday muffins. I wasn't gonna take
He
his
wasn't
birthday
eating them.
muffins. No, because he kept telling me. He was like, "Oh no, I'll get to him." And then, like one night, we were watching something in his room. I was like, "Yo, something's growing on these muffins."
Oh my god.
I forgot. No, I also forgot muffins do like go bad.
Yes.
So like I
Yeah,
completely
he forgot bread doesn't.
I just wasn't thinking about it. I literally just wasn't thinking about it. So like I was like, oh, you know what? Once I have a craving for them, like I'll eat it. But then I forgot. Like it was like maybe like a week or two later that it went
There's
bad.
just a special place in your heart for my baking.
Very
It's
much
true.
so. If you are listening, Kayla, I would have loved those muffins, but
They
I
look
just-
delicious.
they look delicious. I just never got around to them. I just don't eat muffins like that. I love the gesture. I would if you make them again, I definitely would eat them. But you have to try Meg's cookies. Because because I told you Afton. I know you met Afton my birthday. I don't know if you'd like talk to her that much.
Did you meet Afton?
She went to dinner with us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she was on the other side of the
I
table.
didn't know what her name was.
Yeah, her name's Afton.
Yes.
She tried your cookies and loved them. Camila tried your cookies and loved them. There's a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, these are like the best cookies ever.
Thanks.
So you should start selling them.
No, I don't have time for that.
We'll sell them for you.
We'll sell them.
And we'll take
no,
most of the
I
money.
wouldn't sell
Time for
them.
that.
That's priceless
If
to
they
me. I'm
go
not
through
selling
your
them.
hands, they're gonna end up in your stomach.
No, yeah. As soon as
Yeah,
you
that's
hand
what
it to
I'm
me, I'm like, just eat them.
Oops, I was.
They wouldn't
supposed to
even get
give
to my
you-
hands. They would just immediately just like. Do you know the
Just
episode?
Kirby and Hale.
No, do you
all
know the
good.
episode where Patrick
just
yeah.
Another SpongeBob.
Yeah, no, that's much of a
I
reference.
just don't watch SpongeBob like that. Sorry.
Well, it's a specific episode. Literally, it's like cookies on a table, and Patrick like vacuums it all on the table.
In my mind, I was thinking of I don't know where it came from. I know it was on TikTok at one point. Like, there's these pancakes just keep going into some little animated animal, and it like gets bigger and bigger. But you know what I'm talking about?
No, but that
think
sounds
I
like a video
do.
that you would have seen on TikTok.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like plates of pancakes. I'll show you after we're done. But it's like
okay.
plates of pancakes. You just keep like his mouth is just like gaping open and pancake. He like starts
That's
to
funny.
get really big.
No, my favorite because like Patrick, Patrick eats like all the time in the show.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite scene is where Patrick goes like robotic, and his face is like straight faced, and then his mouth is like the shape of a rectangle, and he's just vacuuming food into his mouth, and he's just eating them, like not even like touching his tongue or anything, just vacuuming. And
That's
it's
you.
so funny to me because that's literally me with your cookies.
I'm so honored.
It's true. They're phenomenal.
Honored.
But speaking of being done, we were at like an hour and 45 minutes. So,
There
and it's
goes.
almost midnight. So we started an hour behind schedule, and Meg's got to wake up in like 20 minutes. So,
Practically.
Pretty much.
because wait, what time are
Part of the life.
you're working the game tomorrow? You said, and then what
Yes.
else? You just have class or something?
Yeah, we have class. So I have class starting at 8:30. That'll go through 1:45. Technically, we have a break in that window, but I'm not going to leave campus because if you know anything about Charlotte, you don't want to lose your parking spot.
Yeah,
True.
So
sucks.
it's like just over an hour break, which isn't really enough time to come home anyways. By the time I got off campus, got back, like I'd have like 15 minutes before I'd
Mhm.
have to leave again so I can get a good spot. So I'm just gonna be on campus from like 8:30 until like
8:30.
late. We'll just say late because the
You
game
wanna
doesn't
think
start
about
till
it?
6.
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah, the
That's
game starts
unfortunate.
at 6, but I have class starting at 8:30. I'm gonna go straight from class to baseball, and then
So
the
do you have
game
to like
doesn't-
make your food at 7 like in the morning to like take with you?
I'm just gonna get it like put together tonight in the fridge.
Smart. I
And
would have
then-
just gotten up early and made it. but
No,
that's-
I always set out my clothes, whatever food I'm gonna have. Which only Tuesdays do I need to bring my food with me
Mhm.
because our class break. Any other day I'll just eat after I get home. So it's only Tuesday that I have to get my food together. But I always lay my clothes out and or get food together in the fridge anytime I have something going on the next day. Like I get it set the night before because I don't want to try to function early in the morning other than
adorable.
Where is the
dress
baseball
myself.
field? Is it by
it's down the hill from football.
Is it where
So,
like South?
you know the giant green wall with the C on it that you
Mhm.
drive past? That's the baseball field.
So they play on the
It's
same
literally
field
where
like softball
Kayla's-
plays,
No,
right?
softball's across the street.
It's where Kayla's game was, like right that below that hill. The
No,
softball
that's-
one was the
that's
one
what
you
I'm
walk
saying. That
past,
was softball.
but the one across is
It's
the baseball field.
with the
Oh.
giant green paneling.
Like on the other side
Yes,
of the street.
so
Gotcha.
if you're going up the hill towards football, right? You go across the bridge over the little
Gotcha.
greenway, and then baseball's on the right with the giant green wall with the C on it, and they have a
Gotcha.
brand new scoreboard now, which is really cool. And then on the left is softball, and you go up the hill and the football facilities.
Gotcha.
And
I got
everything on
lost
there. Right.
looking for one of the like rec fields.
The one up top, yeah.
I didn't know it was up there, so I was
It's
like
like tucked
looking
in the
for it.
back.
That's where I had baseball class.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
My undergrad baseball class is up there, so I found it.
It's a cute little remote field, but it's kind of hard to find. If you
Oh
like-
yeah, I
Yeah.
spent 20, 30 minutes looking for it.
Yeah. If you don't know where it's at, you wouldn't think that anything's up there.
I thought it was like on the trail, so like I left the stadium to go to the trail.
You went too far.
Yeah, a little bit. Because Cole FaceTimed me and was like, "Where are you?" And like, I was like, "I don't know." And I like showed him where I was. He was like, "Bro, you're on the trail."
Yeah, turn around really quickly. Yeah, we'll let you go to bed. I'm tired. I don't know why, but I've been yawning like this entire time. So.
I'm
My energy is rubbing off.
just hungry. I might make me food.
You're gonna make
You just
food.
ate, but whatever.
I'm hungry,
Man,
man.
burns it like
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
No,
No, I'm just gonna go home and go to bed.
but okay. Well, thanks for being on, Meg. Finally, I
Thanks,
feel like this
Of
has been a long time coming. I
I
think.
know
Yeah.
we've been talking about this for months.
But yeah, then you can finally check your name off the board when
Oh,
we're.
do I get to do it?
Yeah, you get to do
Wow, I feel famous.
Yeah.
I'll sign it.
it. Sign it. Sign it
Can
on
you sign it right
on a
here,
Polaroid.
please, so I could just.
Yeah, of course.
No, I think
of
you went on a
course.
Polaroid, if anything.
Oh yeah.
That's still my favorite picture I've ever taken. That one where you're like your head's kind of like to the side, you're
I'll
smiling.
have to look at it again.
Yeah, I'll show you in a
'Cause you
second.
have
He
it,
like
I haven't seen-
idolizes.
I saw
that
it
picture.
when you took it, but like I
Yeah.
haven't seen it since. So I have to look at it to know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Holy
so
nuts! It's late.
we'll have another music and movie Monday next week, and then Megs will come out on Wednesday.
Should that be the movie on Wednesday? Like we just record one on Wednesday?
No, we'll just do it. We'll like one of the suggestions because that's
Okay.
what I want to do it based off of. But yeah, so. But until then, we'll see everybody next week. See you.
Bye, y'all.